Hey, this is Dan.
Bob.
From GigaBoots.com, and welcome to GigaBoots Podcast number 18. I don't know, 18? I'm not
Android
thinking,
18? That's all that's coming to my mind.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, there aren't many things with 18 in the name.
So, Super Saiyan 2 Bird Montage is what we're going to name this one. Or is that 16 that
I
died?
think that was 16.
Well, damn. That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
What do you call 18? Stone Cold Bitch?
I guess.
Or
Yeah,
because
that
17's
was a girl.
the dude, because
Yeah.
it becomes
He's
Super
Super
17. Which is cool.
The dumbest thing ever, but we're going to pretend it's cool.
It's totally cool. I don't know what you're talking about. So, it's just me and Bob today. Aggro is busy setting up for the holidays, building up his giant effigy that he'll burn in the name of Thanksgiving Christ.
I think he's got that right.
His family has some very particular celebration.
I figured that he was like
methods.
expanding his stomach somehow. I figured
For Thanksgiving?
For Thanksgiving, yeah.
Just eating like birdshot. Can't digest it, can't pass it, just keeps building up. Some person listening to this, I know for a fact you can pass birdshot. And I'm like, you're a weird one.
I was thinking something that would be like inflatable.
Oh, like an inner tube?
Kind of. Yeah, he just
Like part of
eats
an
that
inner
and
tube?
then... But ideally something just absorbs the fluids of your stomach and expands.
At very least, you expect that he removed a rib surgically.
At very least,
At
yes.
very least, yeah. So we actually got to play an Xbox One. So we're going to get to talk about our experience of playing the Xbox One for several hours.
But I guess
That
we
was
should
like
cover
4 or
our
5 hours.
regular games
Yeah,
first.
we're gonna cover what we've been playing first. We'll talk about the Xbox One and our experience doing that later. But so Bob, what you been playing? Because I can't start with me.
No.
It's not how.
It's not how this goes.
So Dan, what you been playing is kind of a weird thing to say when you're Dan.
Or you could just say, I've been playing this.
No.
And then-
See, okay, look, when you're at the AA thing, which I'm sure you've been to, and they're like, Tom, tell us about yourself. Wouldn't it just be weird if that guy was like, I'm going to talk about me being a drunk? You guys can inspire each other elsewhere. Fuck off.
Okay, but I don't think
Let's open the floor to discussion with me. I'm so open.
All right.
Okay, so what have you...
I've been playing lots of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the most of the new Nintendo games. I played a lot of those.
Yeah.
New Mario and new Zelda.
Yep, both of those came out on Friday the same day as the Xbox One.
Yep.
Because they're fucking crazy.
What else was there? Obviously, played a lot of Killzone.
Yep.
We did that.
Oh my god, so much.
So much Killzone.
Holy shit.
Probably too much Killzone.
No. He's
No.
a liar.
What else was there? It's been... Was I not on last week's podcast?
You were.
Okay, I was. I was the one before that I missed.
Is that right?
I think so. It was sometime that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the PS4 launch. We need to get that done.
Right. What was...
I mean, we listed so many things last week, and I think you're just still playing a lot of those.
Right. I haven't been able to get back to Senran and Kagura, unfortunately, because I've been playing so much Zelda on my DS.
Unfortunately.
That game is not bad.
Senran Kagura?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't doubt that it's not bad in a quality sense.
It's surprisingly, like... I know this is weird, but it's almost innocent at times. And then it's just like, why... Their clothes ripping up and that sort of stuff is that so at end with the story that it's just weird. Because it's like a really typical, like, happy-go-lucky anime.
Because it jumps between sexploitation and heartwarming, like, school experience sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what it goes
Yeah.
for. And it's just like, what is going on?
I think that in itself is supposed to be parody.
Probably. It probably is just a parody of anime at large.
Right.
And
I always
the newer genres that are coming up, they're just so ridiculous. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Queen's Blade away.
I always enjoy that when it's something that meshes two things that don't work well together at all. And it's more in that overt sense of, you just had a person's clothes fly off. You can't be serious now.
She's now in her underwear for this cutscene.
This is not... You're not warming my cockles. Yeah, no. And I always appreciate that. I know a lot of people, it just drives them insane.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, they're like, I can't appreciate the seriousness. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's kind of the point.
Right, it's not... It's serious, but it's not really serious.
It's ironically serious. It is going through the motions. So what else? Other than Senran, Kagura.
Well, yeah, like I said, the Mario and Zelda. I think that's... Man, I haven't really done anything else. Oh, wait, I've played that...
You've been playing your PS4.
Yeah, I've been playing mostly that Killzone.
Oh, yeah, you played Assassin's Creed, because we checked that out in between the last podcast.
Oh, yeah, we did. But, yeah, that was...
what, 10, 11 days?
Pretty
hours?
well covered during the quick play, I think.
Psh, who cares?
And we talked about it in the last...
listen to the podcast, and then they go watch.
True.
Because I do that.
We did talk about it a good bit last time on the last podcast.
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, because with me and Agro going back and forth about how it felt like the series kind of didn't go the direction we expected and that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, but that's the generational disappointment effect. We need a term for that. I could do an entire episode of the Rant Is Go just on the disappointment of series like that in Mirror's Edge and how we never got another and all sorts of things like that.
In Fable.
Okay, look, Fable was disappointing from the beginning on Xbox.
Right.
That wasn't an effect of, look, we're being ambitious, and look, we just need slightly more budget or polish, and this could be so much more better. No, that was fucking lies.
Okay, true.
That was a linear RPG with action-y elements like Zelda that was just super linear and pretended that it was like, oh no, there are these town elements and a morality system that's completely your Jesus or eating babies. And,
it was deep.
And it was so like completely overblown what it was. If you cut a tree, the tree will grow and the scar will remain.
Yep, that happened.
Yeah, that fucking happened, Molyneux.
Yeah, God,
what a dick.
That guy,
The fact more people don't hate Peter Molyneux gets me.
Well, now he's out of... Yeah, now he's out of the making games, except for...
No, he's making games.
Yeah, this is true.
He's made Goddess.
He made God Us.
He's making Goddess.
Oh, right. That's out, but not really out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed. That was...
Pirates.
Boats, lots of boats.
Fun?
It was
fun.
Pretty fun.
I mean, dude, just the treasure seems like it'd be fun.
Yeah, just doing the stuff that's not the typical Assassin's Creed stuff is fun.
This seems to have more than previous entries had on the not your typical Assassin. The chasing songs thing is still fucking like that haunts me. The idea of chasing a shanty up a house. And
why does that drive you so insane?
Because that's insane. That's why it drives me insane.
But you need...
we haven't had that level of opaque insanity in a video game since Banjo-Kazooie. Fucking notes! Grab all the notes!
I mean, I like it because it's a collectible that's not just stationary. Like, it's those feathers and that sort of thing that they've been putting in every Assassin's Creed that feels so just annoying to go grab.
See, I feel like if Infamous had a couple of collectibles sort of things like that, where it's like, keep moving along this and it's escaping. But it wasn't insane. Chase the song up the house. Come on, pirate boy, let's do it. And you just get out of the Oculus Rift that you're in, and you go, did that guy really chase his song up a house? And they're like, yeah, this is based on real life history. That guy was fucking nuts.
Yeah, okay. I can see that, where it's actually got that layer of, no, this is real.
Right. Yeah. What else you been playing? Anything on PS4?
Not really, no.
Just Killzone?
Just Killzone and that.
Because we did that Killzone land.
Right.
That was awesome.
Man, I feel like
it would have been better if we figured out the party system in time.
Yes.
So next Killzone land will be better.
Right.
Because we'll get to play a mode that isn't Team Deathmatch.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I know I like Team Deathmatch.
Right. I like the mix.
But the mix is nice.
Because
Except if it could be the mix without retrieve, that'd be even better.
I want the mix, but not the mix.
Yeah, let's
where's the radio station for me? You're listening to 103.1 The Moo. A little mix, but not fully.
We leave out the bad stuff.
We leave out the bad stuff, and then it starts playing the first song, and it's in my time, I've been heartache and pain. And I'm like, no, this is the bad stuff. What are you
talking? That's not country. That's not the bad stuff.
Most of these mix stations, it's the really bad love songs that get me, not the country.
Okay.
Though country feels like so. When country does come up in any mix stations playlist, by the way, we're in Florida. We're in the South, for some context for our international listeners. It feels like somebody shifted gears on a car without hitting the choke and just like...
Yeah, it's not smooth.
No, it's not smooth.
You know,
I listen to smooth jazz station. That's all that problem.
You know what really weirds me out? Some of the mix stations switched to just playing Christmas music, like starting in November. It's just
they do it every year.
Yeah. I was listening to one station last year, and they started doing it. I basically just removed them from my playlist, and then this year I listened to another station. It's doing it. And I'm like, guys, you realize you're called a mix station. This is the opposite of what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
So is that everything you've been playing?
I guess, but I guess we can talk a little bit more about Zelda or Mario.
Okay. So how's Mario been? Is it Mario?
It's Mario
with the cat suit.
With the cat suit.
And 4-player.
4-player.
Okay.
But
how's Zelda? Are you Link? Do you go through dungeons?
Some.
Okay. That seems alright. I am pretty interested in getting the new Zelda, but I may just wait a really long time to a better, more convenient time for me to be playing games.
Gotcha.
Because if any game's gonna get me, like if I'm gonna buy a game I don't already own and play it by the end of this month, it's Ys 7. Because Ys, the Ys games on PSP are on sale for half off. They're $7.50, all of them, on the PlayStation Network. So if you have a Vita, they also play on that. Go get Ys 1 and 2, Oath and Felghana, or Ys 7. Bitch! Because, I just... Celceta, Sea of Trees. Yeah, that just came out.
Yeah, it did.
And I love Ys. I love Ys so much. It's just unreasonable. I'm like, how did I not know about you until like... Oh, wait, no. I knew about Ys, but I didn't know, like, I forgot the name. I knew about Ys at the PSP launch. That's when I first found out, because they were showing trailers for it. And I was like, this is the coolest looking video game I've ever seen. You just run 1,000,000 miles per hour and beat the shit out of everything and super fast forward, and they're crazy 3D monsters and stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and then that game didn't come out for years.
Yeah, and that's
years.
Yeah, and during that time,
Yeah, God, I don't
so
know why
the people at Xseed are fucking excellent people, and you should go buy some of their games, like Senran, Kagura Burst.
That was them too, wasn't it?
Yes, Xseed's awesome. I keep telling you, they're like my favorite publisher.
There was one translation thing that was just like, oh my god, what the heck, Xseed?
What?
In Senran Kagura, someone says "ikadakimasu" before they eat, and then they translate it as "rub-a-dub-dub."
Time for some grub.
Time for some grub.
That's the closest thing we have.
That's weird.
That's the closest thing we have.
I've never heard of that, because...
How have you... What?
Rub-a-dub-tub, I'm in a tub, not...
No.
Time for some grub. What the heck is that?
You've never...
No!
Huh. This is kind of like the time I was at your house, and I was next to you and your mom, and this was years ago, and I was like, no dice, and you both give me this look, and I'm like, no dice, it means I have no luck. It's a saying. And you both give me this look of, no, that's not a thing, and I'm like, no, it is. Fuck both of you. Now we need to invent a new thing. People should yell before they eat. So that way when we translate animes and Japanese things, we can just shove it in the place of that wholesale.
Yeah.
Time to fucking eat. How about that?
That works.
That works for everything. That would work great for a series like Azumanga Daioh if it comes over. Just time to fucking eat!
Wow.
They all yelled and you're just sitting... But since they're slightly off sync from each other and it's censored, the censoring cascades in and out. And it's horrifying. Because it's per speaker, the sensor sound. It censors each. So there's one sensor sound per speaker, all layering on top of each other when they say time to fucking eat. And they're all slightly off. So it's like, for the censoring sound.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm following you.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So I guess we can talk about the new Mario more.
I guess.
We played that 3 players twice, and you played a couple of worlds without us.
Yes.
Because we haven't played 4.
I beat through two worlds on my own before.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what I said. I said, and you play 2 worlds by yourself, but we've never gotten 4 people in a game.
Oh, 4 people. That's what you mean. I see.
Yes, when I said we've never gotten 4 people,
I thought
we never got 4 people. I know it's code. It's also an idiom and a slang.
Well, you didn't say people at the end, so I thought you were still talking about world. I thought you meant we never played 4. World 4.
You sound even worse when these people. Wait, no, he did. Goes back. Yeah, he did. Wow. Yeah.
Now if you didn't say it.
Oh yes. Oh yes. In this pretend universe where I didn't say it, I would look pretty foolish. But unfortunately, I live in the real world where I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
And I know various phrases like no dice. But yeah, I don't know what to fucking say about the Mario game. It's lots of fun. Hey guys, it's fun.
It still just makes me crave a real 3D Mario game. So hard.
I've been through Sonic, Mega Man, and Castlevania. I don't even feel it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even feel it. Hey Dan, don't you wish you'd make it 3D? What? No! It took them, fucking 12 years to make Galaxy or some shit? Let me count it down. Okay, 96. When did Galaxy come out? 08.
08?
12 fucking years.
Was that 08?
The Wii came out in 06. Late 06.
Wow.
12 fucking years. I don't feel it anymore. I don't think maybe Nintendo will make...
Well,
no.
They gave me 2 right next to each other. You got Galaxy 1 and then Galaxy 2, and both of them were just oh, this is amazing.
Yep. Enjoy those memories. Let them eat away at you. There's probably somebody listening who's like, what about Sunshine, guys?
What
fuck
about
you.
Sunshine?
Fuck you, dick. That's what we think about Sunshine. We think you're an asshole.
There were, I kind of, in retrospect, I really like the hydro pump where you run really fast. Other than that, Sunshine's awful.
You know the part I liked in Sunshine?
What was
when
that?
They took away the pump, and it was just that small level. That's all you played. Just that small little stretch on those cubes that were flying around. That was awesome.
It was pretty cool.
They could have sold me a game that was 20 of those for $20. I would have done it. Instead, they're like, here's this whole game for $50, and I'm like, that thing looks retarded. And then I played it, I'm like, this thing is retarded.
Why is he talking to a water pump?
I don't even mind that. I don't even mind that as much as well as oh, now use your water pump to clean off this thing that's covered in this gunk. Okay, here we go. Da 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 da. I didn't clean off all the sides. This is fun. Da 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 da. Yeah, no, I fucking...
Yeah,
I do not like that game.
I blocked out the memories of having to clean things with that. Of
pixel bitching with water.
Because I remember, there were some cool things about the water pump where you could float, fly around with it and stuff like that. If it was
all just the floating and the running fast.
Right, just the platform mechanics to it, that was fine.
Yeah, but no.
But yeah,
the boss battles are that. The majority of the stars involve that.
Yep. Hope you like cleaning everything.
I love Miyamoto. He's like, when I made that game, I was in a bad place. He fucking said that, basically. Wow. He was like, I was trying to compete with Sony and Microsoft and all the whiz-bangy, flashy, and trying to just make new versions of things that were obviously different. And I'm really glad we aren't that company anymore. And I'm like, so am I, but no, that doesn't explain a water pump.
Now he's in a very cat place, you could say.
Yes.
I like the cat suit.
I like the cat suit too. I don't like what the cat suit means for Mario. Like, I don't like that that's like their idea. Just like, here's our new Mario cat suit. Yeah?
Is that it?
I mean, imagine if Dynasty Warriors was that.
Dynasty Warriors is that sometimes.
No, it isn't. It would be like, here's our new Dynasty Warriors. Horse. One more. Double red hair. Wait, no, sorry. Cat hair. You ride a giant cat in battle.
Okay, I'd buy that.
Because, like, all these people complain about Dynasty Warriors, like, oh, this is the same game as last time. But they revamped their combo system, and so many different elements of the presentation in the game, and the characters and weapons, and etc.
I was really just referring to
the Extreme Legends?
Not the Extreme Legend, but the fact you could buy a cat suit for some of the characters.
Oh, I mean, you could.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
At least it's not Dynasty Warriors 8. Dynasty Warriors 7, but with cat suits. And in, Super Mario 3D World's defense, adding in the multiplayer element does make it a drastically more enjoyable game, at least to me, than Super Mario 3D Land. There is that. And though you don't have the coolness of the 3D imagery, you do have the awesomeness of frantic Mario multiplayer.
Yeah, it just gets so crazy with all the people on there.
It just gets so crazy playing with kitty cats?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm still like, I enjoy that mode, but I enjoy it more alone because I can actually just focus on doing jumps right but not being as rushed. But I feel like they don't even want me to do that because they have a timer on every level. Mm-hmm. They don't want me to explore at all.
No, it's not even that.
Yeah.
I would argue that it's more Super Mario 3 than World, because World had the multiple exits. And
yeah, it definitely feels like a lot of callbacks to Super Mario 3.
Yeah. Like, they had the small little spheroid black horned yellow horned runner dudes from Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah,
those were.
It's like, how do you even describe those? Because I always think you were talking about those black goo balls that were from Super Mario World.
Oh yeah.
That they have to have those.
Yeah, but yeah, I was really surprised to see those back. I thought that was just lost to the sands of time. Because these are the only two Mario games with that enemy.
Yeah, that was a really weird one from World, honestly.
Yeah.
Or not World, from
64.
From 64.
I mean, it kind of had to be. It was super early polygon stuff. A lot of the enemy design is just like 2D image with maybe 3D stuff on top of it. Rudimentary 3D model with 2D eyes on top of it. I mean, those things were 2D sprites of a circle.
Right. I mean, that's something I miss about 64 is the punch and kick button. Just
right.
Having an attack that's like that was.
I think
so
Galaxy
versatile.
Super solved that problem.
You think?
Because the reason why punch and kick aren't back is because hit detection's a bit of a bitch on a small hand on a dude that's a good distance from your camera, which he is in 3D World, but obviously, in Galaxy you're a bit closer than World at times.
Right.
But yeah, since it's the spin, it's that large area around you, and it's a bit more forgiving on the hit detection, so I think it solves that much.
I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
It's still annoying that it's attached to the
waggle
waggle
mechanic? Yeah, tell me about it. Fucking first good Mario in 12 fucking years, and I have to use that piece of shit controller. So not cool with that. So unhappy.
One thing that I like is they figured out in World, 3D World's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That they need to let you use every type of controller, because that was a huge problem in New Super Mario Brothers Wii U. It didn't even accept the Pro controller, the classic controller, any of that. You had to use just the Wii remote, and a lot of times it would be like, I don't have enough of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if you present that problem to me, I think I have more than a single console can even take.
Right. But it's always that situation of we're
already at your house.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm glad they fixed that problem. As a way of making sure all inputs are valid, it only supports 8-directional walking. There's no 16 degrees or...
Yeah, that is frustrating.
It's weird, honestly. Like, at first I was like, oh, I didn't notice that. And it's a bit harder to do very fine jumps that way. But we were talking about it in the middle of us playing. I really don't think that series is about the novelty and challenge of moving in 3D spaces anymore, nor will it be ever again. Because while in Super Mario 64, it was like, holy shit, you have the stick. Here are all these different ways to jump and move. And the game's going to be about this. That worked back then because 3D was novel. It's hella not anymore, so that doesn't make for a great game.
I still think it could.
I don't think it could. I can't think of anything since... that was remotely that level. And I don't think that's a... Well, obviously...
I think it's just... no one else is willing to make a decent control scheme for controlling in 3D. Like, having a lot of different kinds of jumps.
Shaq and Daxter 1 and Sly Cooper.
Both of those only have one kind of jump. And then you can float. And that's something that always, like, frustrated me with those games.
Oh, hey, it occurs to me that the sound in the next room is making an annoying sound. Or the light in the next room is making an annoying sound. I'm going to turn that off and we'll be right back. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think it really is just, like, better on paper to be like, hey, our game has vehicles and guns and it's outer space and crazy. And not our game's really fun to play because momentum is a cool thing.
Right.
I mean, we removed momentum as much as possible from games because it's frustrating. Like, as I was telling you, like, Super Mario 64 does some really stupid things when it deals with trying to take momentum into account and making sure your character can move in a certain way. For example, if you're moving even at all slightly, like you can be crawling. If you hit the opposite direction from the way you're looking... because it's trying to do all this on the N64, for the love of Christ.
Right.
It just runs a circle. And you just run straight off the fucking edge and you're just fucking angry.
Right.
Meanwhile, newer games, you push a direction, you're going that way. Even Knack does a really good job of having a high fidelity animation for Knack, but also having really tight controls of if you do something like that, he will turn properly and go that direction. Basically on a dime, so that way you aren't like, oh, I pushed the opposite direction, Knack, you dipshit. You're also probably the worst dad in the world when you're screaming that at your kid's video game, but, you know,
whatever. It's fine.
Keep on keeping on, wife beater, drunk dad.
But yeah, I mean, I think my favorite 3D platformers in general are the Mario games and the Shadow of Colossus Ico games. Like, I think both of them use momentum properly and make something that feels really unique and really fun to play. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I think our industry could do with a lot more games like Ico-style games, where the platforming and the movement and the getting over obstacles that aren't super over the top are the fun.
Just the thought of running your horse really fast and then getting up enough speed to jump over a certain ledge or something like that.
Yeah.
That was always really cool.
Yeah.
And not many games really are platforming like that.
Really, many games are platforming. Like, a lot of critics were correct when they said Knack isn't so much a platformer.
Right.
There are jumping parts to it. There are platformer-esque parts to it, but I wouldn't really call it that.
Yeah, it seems like platformers in general have turned into... I guess Prince of Persia killed this genre.
Really low-profile action games, more likely. Like Jak and Daxter signed a transition into that. I think Banjo-Kazooie was the last true, actual, traditional platformer. And then Shadow of the Colossus and Ico did, like, they have a lot of platforming elements in them, but obviously the purpose of that game isn't like, hey, you need... 20 stars. Can you do that for me?
Dan, I would pay so much for a game that was basically that control scheme collecting things.
Dude.
You know my favorite part of Shadow of Colossus? find those lizards.
Right, me too. And it's the sad thing is, like, publishers would look at a game like that and fucking kill it. What have you been doing, Ubisoft Montreal? You fucking idiots have been doing what? And it's a good thing that we have this indie movement. And it's a good thing we have the Oculus Rift coming. I think the Oculus Rift's going to sign an era of games where it's like, okay, we really can't do first-person shooters where you run 1,000,000 miles an hour. And yeah, it's going to sign something back to a slower pace. It's going to bring us back to a slower pace of gameplay. And I think that could be really cool for more explorative gameplay styles. Which is what we need, because not everything needs to be this actiony, button mashy, like super.
The 5-hour hallway. That is the 7th gen.
Yeah, thank God it's over.
Hopefully.
So, did you want to talk about Zelda? What do you?
We can just save that for the quick play, I guess. I don't have that much to say about it. I've been really liking what I've played so far.
Cool.
And I'm only like probably 2-3 hours in.
Is it so far? And yeah, 2-3 hours isn't that long for Zelda.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's trying too hard on the fan service, or?
I think it's tasteful fan service for most part. Like, it's not just straight up. You aren't reenacting moments from Link to the Past.
It's more like
same
nods.
Yeah, the same world, and you do some nods. Like, something I found interesting was this, or have to go over to the church.
Yeah.
And you have to sneak in, choose that back exit you have to sneak out of. And that's been the only thing that's been like, wow, this is like the other thing about backwards. But it was kind of nice that they did the little subtle thing there. And
well, in Link to the Past, you technically snuck into the church as well that time.
Did
you were escaping the castle with the princess,
but
and you came out of the church.
Didn't you have to leave the church for something?
No. You came in through the back of the church from the escape in the castle at the beginning of the game.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
Okay, it's the same thing. That's the only thing that is just straight up the same thing.
But that's okay. That doesn't sound too bad. Hopefully it's not like, yeah, okay, now this whole dungeon again.
The dungeons seem different so far. I haven't recently played Link to the Past, but
right.
It doesn't feel like something I've played before.
I hear there's a lot more verticality with the dungeons. Like I heard they took it, before you would have in a lot of dungeons something like 3 floors. And I've heard at some point they get up to like 5 or 8 floors, like boom, super stacked.
Well, the one dungeon I did was a really small one. I think it was only 2 floors. Okay. It was super like still tutorial town basically.
Right. I mean, admittedly, Link to the Past did have a dungeon that was about 5 floors.
That was the dungeon I always got stuck on because it was so confusing.
Yeah. I can't remember which one it was, but it was definitely in the Dark World, and it was like 6 or so crystals.
Yeah, it was...
Man, the crystals thing still... Like, as a kid, I did not get that. I'm like, why am I collecting the crystals? Why am I talking to different people through these crystals? Am I getting these maidens? What's going on?
Okay.
I thought they were in the crystals, but I guess they weren't, but then I found out I guess they were.
In the original
Link to the Past,
did you have to before those 8 crystals? Were there 3 gems?
3 pendants.
3 pendants. Okay, that was also in that one because
it was also in Link Between Worlds.
It's in this one, and it's also in 64.
Right,
Ocarina of Time. Because I was like, well, are they referencing in the 64 game?
Link to
yeah, because I forgot
the pendants.
Because I remember getting the Master Sword super early in that game, and I didn't realize that it was because of that they were still collecting 3 different things.
Yeah.
So that's the same sort of thing is still happening.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it has been a long time since I've done Link to the Past, but it doesn't feel identical.
I just sort of the main thing that's been entertaining me with the Link Between Worlds is they did that Satoru talks or Iwata asks. We go.
Okay.
Satoru Talksu!
Is he a talk show host?
Hurrah! I am Satoru Iwata and I talku, and then clapping.
Okay.
It's only like 3 guys.
So what about Iwata asks?
So he was like talking to the development staff, and they're like, we introduced this idea for a Zelda game that had communicative multiplayer, and it was about that. And when I presented this idea to Miyamoto, he didn't seem too happy about it. And then we finished the presentation, and all he said was, "This seems like an idea that's 2 decades old." And then he just scowled and left. And the whole time I'm like, does he think the Ancient Stone Tablets was about communicative multiplayer? Because that game was not that. That game was download the game, then play the game. Do you remember? We did that Let's Play.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was...
Which we called a quick play, but it's really a Let's Play, and I should go download that and upload it on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube yet?
Well, we did nothing but Blip back then.
Right. I thought it was on both for some reason.
I don't think it is. Pretty sure it isn't. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not sure I want that to show up on YouTube. Go to our site if you want to watch that. It's weird. But yeah, no. So then, like, the whole time, it's like Link Between Worlds is truly innovative. How? You turn into a 2D person and crawl on a wall. Are you fucking serious? Is the next one you turn into a 2D cat and crawl on the wall? Fucking shit.
Oh my god, I need to buy that.
Fucking, what was it? Eric and I were sort of talking about this, and he was like, Nintendo seems like a company that's really trapped, because if they try something too new, then people freak out. So they need to try something a bit more conservative, but people freak out then too. And I'm like, I don't know. They tried a lot of new things on the GameCube. Which is sad, because they look back on that, and they're apparently of the opinion that was a dark time for them. I'm like, yeah, monetarily, but you guys actually tried interesting. Remember that Pac-Man game you guys made? Remember Pokemon XD? Do you remember Pikmin? Luigi's Mansion? You guys tried things other than your 3 main games.
Yeah.
And nowadays, all they're doing with their US developers is throwing them at the B-grade titles, and they're hey, make Punch-Out! Now make Luigi's Mansion! You over there, make Donkey Kong Country! Yeah!
Yeah, that's just...
And then even still, in the middle of all of this, we don't get a legit successor to fucking Pilot Wings.
Of course not.
Because that's another game that's vaguely about exploratory concepts.
Right.
Like, their entire modes where it's just like explore the environment. Ta-da.
That was
And even in the
cool.
3DS one, they put a timer on it.
What?
Yeah. What? What? Yeah, no, I did that when I got there. I booted it up, and it's like, boom, you have 5 minutes to explore. I'm like, what? Ah! It got down to 1 second, and I punched the 3DS in half, and I was like, I'm too powerful to let this exploring end.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds reasonable.
That's what I was like. It was. Yeah, I'm really tired of video games not being about exploratory stuff. So, I'm totally down for buying an Oculus Rift and buying all these non-games for it, just because they will be non-exploratory, or they'll be exploratory.
What was I saying about Zelda? Something about
Nintendo communicative multiplayer. Four Swords. That was another GameCube thing.
It's true. The Four Swords was really cool. I wish that we got something newer with that.
I wish Nintendo weren't so fucking retarded as to be like, hey, if you sell this downloadable Zelda game that for $20, people will buy that?
Yeah.
Especially if it has that cool option where, other people get to play without the cartridge.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I don't know. But, hey, do you know whatever happened to the people who made the new Sly Cooper after that? Do you know, like, if anything horrible happened to that studio? Because I heard before the game even came out, bad things started happening.
Huh. I have not heard much about Sanzaru. That was it,
there
right?
we go. Sanzaru, yeah. You got it. Good job.
Crazy.
I presume they haven't fallen to the same fate as the people who made PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
I hope.
I still don't think that's really their fault.
Yeah, they were
All-Stars,
asked to make that really fast. They were just a cobbled together team and
all sorts of other things. I mean, it was their first project. It had to be multi-platform across the Vita and the PS3. So I had to run on Blue Point Engine? What is that even? Fuck. You could do if they had the opportunity, right?
Okay.
They could have just aimed to make this a next-gen game, made it on Unreal Engine, and it would have just, if it was PS4 only, it could have been a much better game.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is terrifying. The fact that I just said the sentence, you could make that game on Unreal Engine and it would be way better, is signifying that something's fucking crazy about next gen, let me tell you. Really disappointed with how Unreal Engine performed for Crimson Dragon, but we'll get to that later.
Yes, we'll get to that in the Xbox talk.
Yes, the Xbox talk. Hey, welcome to Xbox talk. I'm Daniel. Today we were talking about Xbox 3.6.
3.6. Wow, okay. No. Anyway, in Zelda, yeah, that wall mechanic thing, that lets you see some interesting things. That's where a lot of the fan service I've noticed gets put, on the sides of walls where you can't really see it unless you're looking.
Oh, okay.
Like, you'll see tree people that were in Skyward Sword on paintings and stuff.
I don't like... This is so hard to explain.
What? You don't like that?
I don't like the concept of an overarching Zelda timeline. I know Skyward Swords pretty much puts the like flag in the ground of like, no, this is the timeline. Like, I don't
like that's the start of it.
Because if you keep in mind, I stopped giving a shit before Ocarina of Time, because I saw Ocarina of Time and I'm like, this is just a cutscene filled Link to the Past in 3D. And then everyone was like, this is the best game ever. And I'm like, no, that just says, like, I have to walk across this giant thing to get... That sounds fucking annoying. Now I don't even have a sword? Oh, this is fucking annoying.
You didn't even start Link to the Past with a sword.
No, but it was... Okay, for example, Happy Video Game Nerd is like, I'm thinking I'm liking this new Zelda because I'm 2 hours in and I beat a dungeon. And yeah, I mean, I guess you sort of beat the Deku tree by the end of 2 hours on
right.
But there's so much cuts, you know. Oh my god. In any case, whatever. Ocarina of Time. So at that point in Zelda, at Link to the Past, we had the Game Boy one. If you recall, the Game Boy Color ones came out after that. So not DX.
Not before DX, the regular
Link's Awakening.
Not DX.
Not
version.
DX, because the Game Boy Color wasn't out in 1991.
Okay.
Not even fucking remotely. That was 8 years later.
Jesus.
Fucking Game Boy. But in any case, so we have Zelda, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, and Link's Awakening. None of those had clear connections to each other. None of them even feigned connections to each other. All their plots very directly necessitated them not being in the same... Man, I'm going to be wrong here if, like... Okay, at very least, I stuck with it until Link's Awakening, right?
Okay.
Because, like, I don't know if...
I don't know. Link's Awakening is the one that kind of connects itself to Link to the Past.
It really... But
like,
not
it's
really.
Super vaguely.
It was just like...
This boat looks kind of like that boat.
Link to the Past boat? What boat?
There's a boat you see at the very... Well, there's... you see a flag somewhere. It's... Somebody's marked it on.
Okay, sure. Yeah, fuck those people. In any case... So I am a fucking normal human being playing this game, and there are no super obvious connections to other games.
It's just... retelling story... fairy tale sort of thing.
I like that.
And
I like the plot being an archetypal thing. I don't like Zelda needing to... Because I feel like they're kowtowing to the fans to some extent to be like, okay, there's an order here. Here's a book. Buy our book.
Right. I mean, I can see not wanting them to do that, but at the same time, it doesn't affect the game itself. It's still...
Did you know Crispin hates Majora's Mask? Like, he thinks it's a piece of shit. And then it was really funny because Klapik was sitting there trying to... He's like, no, that's the beauty of Majora's Mask. There's so much... Like, the world is so interesting that the fans came up with, like, how these different elements... And he's like, oh, so it's so amazing that the fans had to come up with their own story that Nintendo fucking wouldn't. And I'm like, haha, that's funny. Fuck you for hating Majora's Mask. Because, I mean, I skipped Ocarina of Time and then Majora's Mask... Like, I didn't literally skip Ocarina of Time. I just didn't like it enough to play it. Majora's Mask was fucking amazing. That game fucking made an impact. Out of all the Zelda games, since Link to the Past, Majora's Mask made the strongest impact on me out of any of them. Because it's just like, the world is going to fucking die! Enjoy.
Yeah, it's... And I have to wonder if they're working on a remake of that, or what's going on with that.
I wish they would stop being themselves and literally do that again of like I mean, you know me. Every time we hear Phil, who is undoubtedly listening to this, demanding The Legend of Zelda, but gritty and Kratos and God of War, I groan and I sigh. Because it's like all those college humor videos that it's like, oh, this thing from your youth, but real and extreme, because that's mature, because you're so much more mature now, because you're into bloody violent things. Aren't you just an adult? Yeah, those are
sure you're not 15?
Most adults are 15 mentally. I hate that, but there's something about that grim, dark universe and all the sadness.
Yeah.
I like a game that's full of sadness.
Okay.
And I don't mean like The Last of Us, like
yeah.
No, never mind. I do. I really like that's what I like about The Last of Us. There's no like, oh man, don't you feel so awesome? We blew up this gas station that dealt with the zombie infestation. Yeah, like you don't feel good. More video games need to be okay with that. They need to stop shouting about how awesome you are for 10 seconds and actually genuinely build a universe that is full of despair to some extent. And I don't mean this manic depressive like, oh man, I'm going to piss off so many people. I don't mean like Limbo, where it's super overt art style of like, you're in the shadow dimension and your sister's missing and there's spiders and you die really easily and night terrors and blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that. It needs to be like real life, but really, really, really disturbing at a very deep level.
Huh.
And that's what Majora's Mask was. It was like, hey, everything's like Ocarina of Time, but just healthy enough to really fuck with you.
Yeah, that was really weird the way they were used town folks.
Yeah.
And twisted them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were twisted.
Yeah.
I love Majora's Mask.
It was pretty creepy.
Yeah, it was. Where did Navi go?
I don't think anyone missed her.
No one missed her, but I love just the omission of her entirely. It's almost like at the end of Ocarina of Time, you're like, okay, I'm done. Save the day. Bye, Navi. Go away. Never want to see you again. Bye.
You got a new
Takes
fairy.
off on horse. No, you get the new fairy in the alter dimension thing.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, he was just basically saying at the end of Ocarina of Time, Link's balls dropped and he told Navi to go fuck off. Nobody knows how Link got his job as the hero of time, but it was probably prostitutes and drug money. But yeah, so part of me really excited about this new Zelda. The other part of me is really like, oh man, I don't want to deal with too much of that. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'll just wait a couple months.
All right.
It'd be cool if there was a Black Friday sale, but I really don't expect that.
Right, it just came out.
Right.
And it's Nintendo, so.
Plus, I'm sane. If I was insane, then, I'd probably expect a Black Friday sale on PS4.
So many people,
I know.
And Xbox One.
Yep.
Of course, expect. So wait, you're gonna have a sale on them on that date? No, we'll have them. We will have them. You will have the privilege of buying them.
We'll have them, and you're fucking welcome. I have offered you the pleasure of being able to procure one, you cretin. Welcome to the GigaBoots podcast, where we're angry and real all the time. If we could, we would import Okonomionda from Q Games to get him to come over. Sorry, Twitter handle. Jamin Kessler to get him and come over and also bash a bunch of companies. Was it the guy at Q Games who did the fluid dynamics for Pixel Junk Shooter? Like, apparently he was an intern. And they were like, hey, go do all this fluid dynamics research. We need this to make Pixel Junk Shooter. So he does that, and he does a really good job. And then they're like, okay, cool. And he's like, well, my internship's over. Bye. And he goes to Nintendo. And even still to today, Jamin Kessler's like, what a fucking waste.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty fucking true. It's a fucking waste. He was at Q Games for a very short amount of time, and we got an awesome game about all these different fluid dynamics working together, properly simulated on the PS3. Quite a task. And then he leaves, and what have we seen from Nintendo?
Yeah, I really want Nintendo to make anything new.
I do too.
Or at least take their older stuff and try and reinvent it again in some way. Because, 3D World is not a reinvention at all. It's just... It's a short change, I would call it. And Donkey Kong Country is nothing new.
Right.
I mean, the most bland of all of these remake things, I think. It's just, it's made it worse because there's now a button, or like 3 different things you can do to literally everything in the environment, so it just becomes, just a random button pressing quest with platform in between.
Yeah.
It's
really sad that they're not innovating as much as they should.
Yeah. It's like, you guys have, these are your own consoles, your own portables.
Do you realize you could get anybody to make an Advance Wars for the Wii U? They could be doing that right now. Instead, you have the people who made Advance Wars making some crossover game. You're fucking war criminals, in my opinion.
I'm really interested in what this crossover will be like.
That doesn't make them less bastardly.
That should be crazy.
It should be crazy. It better be crazy.
It better be absolutely insane.
It better. Pokemon Conquest, did you ever...
I have not tried that.
Okay, because, like, Tosh owns it. And jfromhalesyoung.com owns it. You gotta say the whole thing.
Yeah, can't leave out any.
I think we've done so much advertising for that guy. He owes us a blowjob.
I don't want...
I don't either.
Yeah, let's...
We get to say who he does it to.
Can he just owe us ice cream?
He just owe us ice cream.
That's better.
Ben and Jerry's BJ. Yep, there we go. We're good. But yeah, they both own it and they keep saying it's good, but I can't trust them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't trust you. I mean, I understand there's apparently some goodness there that works for them, and I'm more the type of person who would probably play the game, the underlying game type that is, because I haven't exactly heard either of them talking about Nobunaga's Ambition or any other games remotely similar to that. Either in one time I played a game that was like this and it was good. So yeah, it should probably be even more so to my liking than them, but them complimenting it just makes me, no, I can't.
Can't do it?
No, I can't commit enough to even try it.
Yeah, I mean, when the asking price, what, $30 still?
It was still?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. But I mean, they both own a copy, so I could even
you could just try it.
Yeah, but I'm clearly not doing that.
Clearly.
So is that all you played and want to talk about?
I guess. Oh wait,
okay.
there's some neat new mini games that they've made in this new Zelda. I really like. There's a Kuko dodging, and it's basically like playing a flying shooter. Only you're just dodging chickens that are running at you.
Huh.
And there's an endless mode to that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I'm like, okay, let's have more of this. I hope there is more mini games like that.
I've never heard anybody call it Kuko.
How would
Kuko.
you?
Like
Cuckoo?
cluck.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard Kuko though. But then again, I'm the same guy who said like me and my brother said Chockaboo.
Right. These Japanese and they're made up birds.
Yeah, basically. At least we aren't like the gaming motherland isn't Germany. That would really be in trouble. Because one, first-person shooters wouldn't be taking over. That would just bankrupt us. But yeah, so I'm going to do 2 things real quick before I talk about what games I've played.
Okay.
The first of which, I did a ton of research looking into what different video cables do.
Okay.
Because we have our capture card, which does RGB, and it also does D-sub, and it does a component to D-sub thing. So it's like, okay, how does that work? And I looked that up, and I was like, okay, how does component work? And I looked that up, and I was like, wait a second, how does composite work? And I looked that up. And then I was like, wait, how does S-video work? It was really cool, because apparently, this is fucking logical and insanely cool in my opinion. Composite has the chroma and the luma on one cable, right? It's just sending both of those, and that's how you do that sort of video image. You have the chroma and luma image, and then it comes in. And something neat about that is your TV, you know how we plan for overscan on TVs and things?
Right.
The reason why is because that cable type and that video type, all CRTs would have the overscan. All of them. It just was a constant. So closed captioning is data that's being sent in that always cropped off area.
Huh.
Yeah, there's like programming and stuff like that goes in there, like closed captioning and other things, where they just stick it in the margin they know for a matter of fact will be cropped off. Okay, so S-video, all they did is they took the composite video stream of chroma and luma and they separated it into 2 things. chroma and luma sent across two wholly separate cables. So it separates the image, and that's why it just looks a whole hell of a lot better.
Right.
Component just separated it into three things. This is great because if I remember, it was one luma and two chromas, and those two chromas are relative to green. Now, that sounds a bit crazy, relative to green, but apparently, in the chroma subsampling way that we do, like HDMI subsampling, that works. Who knew? And there you go. That's some shit that I spent a whole day looking up on Wikipedia while my girlfriend was shopping for crafts. Cool. I was bored as shit.
Oh, I remember I played one more game.
Oh, what'd you play?
I played Final Fantasy... No, wait. Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, the demo.
Oh, yeah, you played that. When did you get that demo? Today?
I got it this morning.
Okay.
Downloaded.
So we're gonna do a quick play of that.
Yeah.
So look forward to that quick play because it'll probably hit around the same time or after this podcast. Podcasts are easy. Quick plays are hard. But hey, at least Final Fantasy whatever. Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 won't be 1080p.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and run that 720
in any reasonable amount of time. 1080p videos are hard. Can't wait to upgrade my PC next year. So yeah, now the second thing. Unless you wanted to talk about that.
I guess we'll just talk about that during the quick play. They can tune in later.
You have to watch that quick play to hear about that because there's some crazy shit going on in that game.
That game is crazy.
So slight spoilers here. If you care a lot about Final Fantasy 13, even down to the most minor characters, you probably want to skip a little bit ahead. Bob, Chocolina,
whatever.
She's the chocobo that Zaz was carrying on him.
No, what?
What? No, seriously, I heard that.
That's insane. I hope that's not true.
I think it is.
But why would she become a person?
Time travel.
I don't.
It's just stupid enough that you're like, oh no, they would do that.
That could be true. I didn't buy the DLC for Saz's story, so I don't know.
Oh my god! If it was contained in that,
they retconned the other DLC.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah. God, that's insane.
So in the new one,
okay,
that's a joke at Chocolino, which is such a weird thing. This joke. They have chubby Chocolina. I only know this because Wakana was talking about it on Twitter, and I'm like, who the fuck's a Chocolina? And I look it up on the internet, and I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, she's the item shop for 13, too.
Yeah, and super, full of herself. She's like, I have the beauty, but you can have these items at a good price, or something like that. I just was reading that up on her character, so then she's fat, and that's funny.
I don't know. I didn't really get the full of herself thing. More of that she was completely insane and lived across time.
And a chocobo. Maybe.
And a chocobo person.
So, that's coming along. But yeah, chubby choco.
That's weird.
It is weird.
I know that the game's out in Japan, so that's why people know this now. But wow, that's something I didn't see in any trailers. And
yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
I guess there's also normal because I saw regular her in some trailers.
Okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Fucking 13 too. Fucking 13.
Yeah.
All of them. I want to play them, but I don't want to lose hundreds of hours to.
Yeah. Yeah. That first one's really the big time sink.
Man, I really should just shut GigaBoots down for a week, and then just spend one of my off weeks doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get me up to speed. Then I could actually review 13. I know, reviews, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Okay, so the second thing I'm going to do before I talk about what games I've been playing is we have this can here. It says Neuro Fuel. And it advertises that... Okay, that one's hilarious. I'm reading that one last now. It looks like a monster can, and it's advertising that it is a mood enhancement formula. It is Neuro Fuel Max. Which mood enhancement and max next to each other paints a pretty. But no, it's for your mind. It's for your mind.
It's supposed to make you happy.
So it gives you, and it says this all at the top in bullet style fashion, similar to Monster. It says happiness, motivation, intelligence, EBT approved. Which, for those who don't know, EBT's food stamps.
What? We know you're on food stamps.
Yeah.
Neuromax is...
So I'm going to go ahead and... wow, this is even weirder. Caution may intensify euphoric effects of alcohol and other chemicals. So I'm going to go ahead and try this.
Yeah, then.
I'm going to drink this, and we'll be right back with my impromptu review of this, what is undoubtedly going to be a marvelous drink. And we're back.
How is that, Dan?
I can't even fucking describe it. It's like the worst part of the taste of Red Bull. This nasty, fizzy, like taurine sort of taste that's almost vaguely there in Monster, with absolutely nothing overbearing it. It's actually a very low sugar drink. It has 90 calories in like a 12 ounce can. So 90 calories actually isn't a whole lot. I think a Coke can has 200. Right. Just a can of Coke, not even a...
Not a bottle or anything.
Yeah, not a bottle or anything. So that having 90, I thought it would actually have a bitter taste. Because I'm not that averse to super sour, bitter taste or whatever.
Right.
I drink a lot of stuff from Asian markets. That, no, it's not bitter, it's not sour. It's this gross taste that's not sweet, but attempts it.
Oh, no.
Now I'm going to read what's actually in it to see if I can figure out which all of these is causing this. Ugh. Yeah, okay. It has aspartame.
Oh, of course it does.
It's gross. I'm not saying aspartame's gross. I'm saying mixing sugar and aspartame is gross. Like, for the love of God. Does it seriously have aspartame? Yeah, it has aspartame, sucralose, which is Splenda, and sugar. So, it has 2 artificial sweeteners and a normal sugar sweetener. And you can tell. Just because the proportions were not right. They made it a low-calorie drink. This thing's so gross. This is... Okay, I'm having another sip. It just...
You can't stop. You need that Neuromax. Wait, Neurofuel. That's what it is. I don't think you'll be able to find this in your local stores. I think someone just snuck this into that BP.
Yeah, that BP was like, hey, you want some Neuromax? And I'm like, I want Max Neuros.
I gotta get my nanos.
Gotta take my nanos. Okay, now we're taking a short break so I can drink anything else. Okay, and we're back. I got a normal energy drink, Monster, in my mouth, and that I wasn't really in the mood for a Monster. I was really just wanting a palate cleanser, and I guess that will do. Because it's better than drinking milk when you're lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Pretty bad idea right there. Yeah. So, the games I've played. I played a demo for Tearaway and instantly fell in love with it. I need that game. I don't know when I'm getting that game. You know Puppeteer's on sale at Amazon for $20.
Wow.
I really want that game.
That game
I don't need
really
that
cool.
game as much as Tearaway. Tearaway was... Oh, fuck. Never admit it. I've never seen a game that so instantly got what I want in a 3D platformer. I was just like, hey, there are these collectibles. I'm like, psh, great, collectibles. And it's like, no, you use them to customize your little puppet dude. Or your paper dude. I'm like, what? That's genius. I wanted to get them anyways because they're all over the place. But now I get to buy more eyeballs and mouths and fangs and mustaches to stick on my... Oh, hell yes! And you get to really customize the face of the person in a good way, not in a shitty Little Big Planet way.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Little Big Planet. We did that review of 2, and I expressed my disappointment with that. So seeing this and playing this and just getting the style out of it and everything else is so much better than Little Big Planet. I hope to God their next game is more Tearaway than Little Big Planet, because this game is amazingly charming and just fucking, oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good. It's not a grown heavy like bore fest like Little Big Planet can often be.
Okay, because God, playing those tutorial stages, so that it makes you play them any more than once there's no way to skip them.
Yeah.
So if you go boot it up on someone else's console, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah, so the demo for Tearaway is fantastic, and I hope to pick up the game sometime soon. What else did I play?
Battlefield.
We played Battlefield. Oh my god, I didn't want to go straight for that.
Yeah, no.
Let's talk about Mario. We played Mario. Mario was pretty fun. I'm not going to say it's like 10 out of 10 fun, like the most fun I've had this year. I would say Mario Kart 7 was more enjoyable than that Mario game.
That was last year, though.
Not for me.
Okay. Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was really just comparing experiences I've had recently.
Yeah, I guess it's a multiplayer experience. Mario Kart lets you be more directly competitive and less just, oh, this is just frantic and craziness.
Really, it's just the feedback mechanisms are there. I'm doing well. I'm rewarded for doing well. I'm not doing well. I'm punished for not doing well. There's the more direct social interaction with a larger number of people. Not that more is necessarily always better, but in this case, it really benefited Mario Kart.
I know that I don't lose myself on screen in Mario Kart,
right.
That's something that I did quite frequently in Mario Land. Especially when it was like, oh, I have a thing to do. Oh, so do I. We're both brown. Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's great. Yep. Oh, awesome. Game of the year. Game of the year. Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Now, if each person got their own screen, that'd be pretty cool.
On Mario?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I'm trying to think of that game as a 3DS game. You know, if there's one thing Nintendo can do to make me not as jaded and bitter and angry at them, not fuck up Smash Bros. On either platform. They need to accomplish being better than Brawl on both platforms for me to not just be angry at them.
Okay.
Good fucking luck.
Wouldn't it be good enough if just the Wii U one was great? No?
That would be bullshit.
Okay. I see.
Because they would be like, hey, 3DS owner, we know this is the only console any sane person would buy from us. Looking at you, Bob. But here's the shitty fucking Smash Bros. It's Smash Bros. Lite. You want to play the real game, it's right over there on Turd Mountain. I don't want to go to Turd Mountain. Where you going? Now give me $60. They socked me in the stomach.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like Nintendo.
You know what would be nice? If all these $60 games this next gen went, oh no, we can't afford to make really long campaign modes and multiplayer modes because making games is expensive. Maybe we should just make a shorter, better campaign mode that's replayable. Let's do that.
That will never happen.
I know that will never happen. And fuck 99% of gamers out there.
Yeah, because there's so many people that'll just be like, oh, it's over. Now I'm done. Well, the game probably wasn't fun then. Okay? It probably just was not fun if you're completely done in one playthrough.
If you were playing it for the plot, either something's instrumentally wrong with the game or with you.
Yeah.
Because there are very few video games that strongly justify that sort of feeling of like, oh, I need to see what happens next.
I mean, I have a little bit of a problem with that just because even if the game's got a terrible plot, sometimes I'm just like, oh, no, I started, I have to finish.
How did what was the name of that game? The Darkness. How'd the Darkness end? I'm really curious because most of us sane people stopped.
That one hit that bump of, oh god, this is so bad. I can't finish this.
But the plot was cool.
I didn't even find the plot that cool.
Something's instrumentally broken with you. Because I don't know, the Darkness was cool. That was a cool game. So I wish we got more games that were that cool. I'm not saying that level of coolness. No, I'm saying that type of cool. I wish we got more games that were that. Because the game seemed more okay with like, oh, there are demons in this universe and there are mobsters. And it wasn't super, at least from what I played, it wasn't like the super huge plot about redemption and your girlfriend and saving her from... But I know it had elements of all that.
Right.
It just wasn't super grown-worthy levels of Hollywood / AAA video game writing. Fuck Dead Space 3. Oh my god. If there's a single game to show what's fucking wrong with publishers in this industry, it's Dead Space 3.
Yeah, that probably does it. I'm like,
everything's
spat out like, I think 3 games in that same year that were all just like, really? You doing this?
I mean, fucking Mass Effect 3 was even victim to a lot of EA-isms.
Yeah, that's so I've heard. That did not fare well.
Yeah, Dead Space 3, Mass Effect 3. I'm trying to think of the third one that came out during that time period. Was it the Medal of Honor that was trying to be Battlefield?
The Medal of Honor that was
trying to be Call of Duty.
Call of Duty just...
No. It was trying to be Battlefield being Call of Duty. That's what it aspired to.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Oh, what were they thinking, man?
Dude, publishers are fucking crazy.
They got in that serious thing of we have to launch a shooter because Call of Duty comes out. We need to have one every year. Like
hey
Call
guys,
of Duty.
Call of Duty's coming out in October. We gotta beat them this year, guys. Okay, Tommy, we're never gonna beat them, so can we stop getting our ass whipped every year? No, we got them this time.
I mean, every other year we do great.
Battlefield 4 kinda almost did that this year. If they gave it like 3 more months to polish off, it really would have resoundingly made Call of Duty look like a fucking joke. But that single player, man, it is nightmarishly stupid.
I mean, so is Call of Duty.
You think that, right?
Okay. I mean,
I don't trust you. You're Chinese. Why should I trust you? He does this for 3 fucking hours of gameplay, which in the universe, in the game, is a really long time. And then she goes, my village was burned to the ground and my family was killed. And he's like, now I trust you. And I'm like, what the fuck, game?
I don't know. You're still not fighting Cobra, basically.
I'm okay with fighting Cobra. I'm okay with the stupidest villains ever in a video game. Modern Warfare 2 had that.
That's true.
Modern Warfare 2 was embarrassing. Wait a second. You're triple... Are we quadruple crossing? Wait, where are we at?
You killed that guy with the ghost mask. You're really bad, dude.
I honestly think Metal Gear Rising Revengeance works as a metaphor for all of AAA games, not just Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm fighting the proxy war to end proxy wars. What? What do you mean? Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Oops. Oh, no. If you haven't played that yet, well, what's wrong with you?
Sorry.
Why haven't you played that yet?
You're criminally retarded. Terminally. So yeah, all that DLC's free. I should go grab it.
On what?
Metal Gear Rising.
I told you
about that before,
like,
and you were angry.
Yeah.
And then I guess you subdued that into...
No, I was more of like, we were just talking about Battlefield like seconds ago.
All the Battlefield is free.
That premium pass is $50 you paid for like a week ago? Free.
Free. That's where video games are going. Free town. Man, wouldn't it be great if, like, I don't know, we stopped having plots in video games and all this money could just focus on the gameplay?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Why do we even need writers? Like, we only need the vaguest of things.
That is exactly the level of podcast you're listening to. He just said, why do we even need writers? And I fucking side with that 100%. The Stanley Parable isn't an amusing story about implementing narrative into a video game. The Stanley Parable is a fucking statement against video game narrative and the illusion of choice. It is the flag in the ground saying, this is fucked permanently in every direction you go. And that game is the map. You walk in whatever direction you want and you see how fucking flawed it is.
I mean, that's
10 out of 10.
That's something I always like about Miyamoto, just because it's like, no, Mario Galaxy has too much story, which, yeah.
Which I guess, I mean, there was a cutscene, right? Maybe two.
Maybe two. Then you had that choice of going over and reading the storybooks, which I didn't do.
I did. It was really amusing.
Okay.
And, you know, I wouldn't have liked that if it was incorporated into the story.
Okay, yeah, that would be really bad if they took you out of the gameplay to tell you that stuff.
Which is basically what AAA games do constantly.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, now we're going to play audio tapes or a conversation people are having on a boat a mile away.
Audio tapes.
Here's the thing.
BioShock can just
eat a dick.
Basically, yeah. I was like, I don't want to say it, but I want to.
But I want to say. I don't want to say it, but I want to say it. But yeah, no, it really can, because there are a whole generation of people who think that's a decent way to tell a story.
Yeah.
Just audio tapes. You're building out the universe. No, a fucking tape lying on the ground full of audio of these people having a conversation you would never want on tape is not building a universe. That's fucking staging a play every 10 seconds. Oh, hello, we have marital issues. We're arguing and you hear us throwing plates. How immersive.
My name is Steven and my wife here is...
Here, let me try the audio log. 10/24/2013. We're researching the new specimen, and it looks promising. Audio log 10/25/2013. It is not looking promising. It is eating all of us, and it is bad. Okay. And then you found these next to a corpse. See, that's the AAA game I want. I want that. You walk up to a corpse, there are two tapes, one on each side.
That AAA game is called Resident Evil 2, and it happened.
Damn. No, that really would be great. That would surpass Borderlands and its supposed parody of like AAA games and that sort of stuff. Like, that pales in comparison to that. That just obviously hanging of like, this is stupid. But we're never getting that game.
No.
Not until the tools have progressed to a point that is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, no, that's it. Yep. We're not getting that game until tools have progressed to a point that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only kind of story I'm okay with in games mainly are the ones that, like, either stay completely uninvolved, like Mario and such, and things like the other end of the spectrum on Devil May Cry, where it's just, oh yeah, this is a cutscene, so he can do something that looks really cool. It's just like, okay, you got the candy for killing the boss, so he's gonna like do a really cool animation with his new nunchucks he's got, and he's gonna like whip them up. And, yeah, just,
that's rewarding you,
right? It's just a reward for, okay, this is. All right.
This is cool looking.
This is cool. Let's go.
Because I don't think video games are at all a good medium for storytelling. I don't think it's proven its worth even vaguely.
Yeah, I mean,
like the best stories in video games are gone
gameplay
home.
part, and
usually the things most relished over their stories are the things where the gameplay's completely fucking broken. So good goddamn job on your Laserdisc interactive menu of a fucking game.
And then there's stuff like Braid where it's like, okay, you can just go, well, basically just have you read a huge story that almost has no involvement. Braid. Yeah, where you have almost no involvement with such a story, but the story is there. It's like, what is the point?
Right, that's obviously separating it significantly there. And I really do. I dislike the inability of everybody who thinks video games are a great place to tell stories. I am upset over their inability to recognize that all of these games they praise have horrible gameplay issues. I finally read something from a person who was dissecting narrative tricks, techniques, and etc. for video games. I read him saying exactly what I said on the day I played The Last of Us. Where they sidestepped the ludonarrative dissonance completely by making the only video game ever where you could not have ludonarrative dissonance and play in a typical video game fashion of defeating enemies. They made a fucking psychopath the main character. You're fucking welcome. Enjoy your lack of ludonarrative dissonance, you fucking dicks. Yeah. And I love it. I love it. I love the stark, bleak universe of The Last of Us, and how it's just like, there's a lot of horrible in here. Like, good. Okay, cool. I think that game would definitely be worse without its story. I think that's one of the games where it's properly like, here's what the game is, like, gameplay-wise, and we integrated that into the story well.
Yeah, I think that they did a good job of there aren't a whole lot of segments where it's like, okay, you're gonna go walk real slow and talk, because that completely like ruins gameplay. I
mean, here's the thing, right? I hear from people, and I'm going to counter this here. I wish I could separate each of these moments of a podcast into their separate, like, in the future when somebody says something, and I can just like, oh, well, listen to these minutes in this podcast, and you'll hear my exact thoughts on that. Somebody said is that they were playing The Last of Us, and it totally kills the story and breaks the immersion when they ride on horseback up to the house where Ellie ran off to. And they talked to Ellie, and they resolved the emotional issues that were caused in the scenes earlier. And things are resolved. And then people storm the house because they knew when they got into the house that people were going to storm that house, because they wouldn't have made that house unless they planned for it to be a part of a gameplay segment. And that ruined the immersion. Asshole, that is like me looking at a movie and knowing there are lights everywhere. That they are lighting the scene. When they do a slow fade transition, that somehow ruins the element. Just because the gameplay also occurred in that house, and yes, it's killing people, but people were invading the settlement nearby, so... Duh. Fuck.
That's...
Shit like that fucking kills me. I can't believe they put gameplay in my story. It killed the moment for me because people started storming the house.
That's...
Yeah. People are saying this shit. Other people are thinking these people are brilliant when they say it. And I mean, this is what I was complaining about in the week between our podcasts here. I was complaining to Bob about how a lot of the people who are seen as intelligent in internet commentary about video games are just assholes who have their heads so far up their ass that they can lick the back of their teeth. They're just...
That's amazing.
It is fractal. It just keeps going. There's
another head in here. Whoa.
That's okay. Terrifying.
Yeah, right? I don't want to think about that.
I don't either, so I'm going to go back to what I was saying. They just talk about the story elements of games so much that it was like, but who was The Last of Us? I wonder if anybody listening to this podcast knows which one I directly quoted there. But in any case, I fucking get sick of that. I really do. And the reason why is because that is not what defines gameplay. So over-intellectualizing that aspect of a game is like over-intellectualizing the score of a movie. Like, good job, but you didn't review the movie. Good job, but you didn't critically analyze the movie itself. It is a part of the movie, but that is not the majority of the movie. The performance on screen, the writing, lighting are all way more important than that. And it just drives me nuts that is the one venue you assholes seem to all take for over-intellectualizing video games. It just drives me nuts. Like, congratulations, you're all fucking idiots. You're all too stupid to grow up and learn some shit about actual game development. I would take analyzing video game audio over this at this point. Because it's like, good job, everyone. You know what stories are. You live in real life where events occur in a progressive order, and you've seen movies and maybe read a book, so you know what a story could ideally be, and this isn't that. Wham. Fuck you. Get out of my video game commentary. Go lick a dick, go crawl under a bus, and then tell him, hey, go right ahead. Yeah, I'm that angry over this. I really fucking am, because it's so fucking hard to actually find intelligent commentary on video games. Where it's somebody being like, this element of this... I mean, you watch a lot of reviews, you read a lot of reviews, the majority of reviews are fucking retardedly written, and that doesn't necessarily mean the reviewers are that stupid about it. Which, to be fair, yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of them don't realize the difference between 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second judder, loading issues when a game... the actual equivalent of that thing we were just talking about of like, oh, I saw the house, and then I knew a gameplay segment was going to take place there. The actual equivalent of that is in winning Gears of War and games of that era where they tried to mask the loading, but they didn't do a good job. You're walking very slowly through a very small room, waiting for the next area to load. And that small room makes no sense in the context of that huge level. And it's just this claustrophobic piece of shit. And then you open the door and boom, it's really bright outside and there's these huge areas. And I mean, a lot of video games still do that. But that is actually the equivalent of that. When you say that's actually breaking up the story, no, this is more important. This is breaking up the gameplay, and it's jarring, and it's shit, and I have to listen to these people prattle on about a plot that is fucking ridiculously stupid. I can't think of a video game plot that was remotely as compelling as even the fucking Fight Club. I'm not saying the Fight Club's a brilliant movie. I'm just saying video games are all that smatteringly stupid. Seriously, can you think of one? I'm not saying all video games are moronic, but yeah, they kind of are.
Yeah, I mean...
I can't think of one. That's embarrassing. The closest thing we get to, oh, this video game's plot is brilliant, is things like Braid.
Yeah, I mean... A lot of people laud, say, Mass Effect and that sort of thing for their plot, but
that's really just a lot of plot.
Yeah, it's like... I've never agreed with that. That and Dragon Age of just... Yeah, you can go read books and books, and you can go talk to these people who have completely nonsensical conversations with you. Okay.
Right? Or even at a step better than that, they have conversations with you that don't really mean much, and they almost some of the times comes off as actual beings. Most of the time it's just, hi, I'm the shopkeep. I keep shops.
Yeah, but
not believable fucking human beings in any of these Bethesda games or any of these other huge open world RPGs, which I'm fine with. Just don't praise it as an amazing story.
Yeah, a lot of people don't praise Skyrim. Obviously, I really don't hear praise for Bethesda stories that much.
Dude, I know people who are like, no, that's a great game for plot. Like they think that immersion is the story because they are the Dovahkiin. Which, that is the number one issue with the video game industry. The people who buy a game because they are the Dovahkiin.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, you aren't the Dovahkiin. You're the asshole holding the controller. The character in the game is the Dovahkiin, and guess what? The Dovahkiin doesn't exist.
Something that always bothers me about game plots and what people think is good is just, it has to be, you are the character. The character can't be the character. That's something I actually really like about Japanese RPGs. There's never that illusion of you being the character. No, those characters are well designed. Really thought out.
A lot of time,
character
I mean,
design.
Chrono was really the, not Mary Sue, the male version of a Mary Sue.
Right.
Which I forget.
Yeah, I mean...
Gary Stu. He was the Gary Stu.
And Cloud almost was, but even he had more character to him eventually.
Definitely, by the end of that game.
Yeah, like the beginning of the game when he just wasn't talking. He was basically that, but then it was like, I don't want to be this guy. This guy's messed up.
This guy's got fucking problems. Just like every person who thinks Final Fantasy VII is the best RPG ever made.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Whoosh.
But yeah. And I that is a problem with fucking Americans, probably. I mean, it sounds fucking nasty, but it's probably true. Americans need everything to be fucking about them, which is why social networks are so fucking huge here. I mean, people like talking to each other, but that's not really how those are used, and that's not what is so attractive about those two people. It kills me that every fucking video game needs to be like this blank slate for people to project on, because if it's a character that they don't agree with every action of, that's a bad game.
Yeah, totally.
Because here's the thing.
Why is Dante being a jerk and riding around that rocket?
Stop riding rockets, Dante.
That's dumb.
Those are weapons.
Look at you.
Stop being an anime.
So dumb.
You dumb bastard. I think this part of the segment's this week's The Rant is Go.
Apparently.
Yeah, this segment of the podcast is brought to you by The Rant is Go. The Rant is Go. We phoned it in this week. I'm just going to set a marker there so I remember to excise this and literally upload it as this week's, because that sounds fun.
Okay, that works.
Maybe sometimes The Rant is Go writes itself. Who knows? I also... Oh, man. Do you have anything more to say on that?
Because
feel free.
I'm trying to think what else we haven't covered, really. I mean...
Oh, no, I have more things to say. I'm just checking on, like, that plot thing.
Oh, yeah, that... I mean... Yeah, I guess it's probably... Some of the stories I've most enjoyed are from those JRPGs, which is... I mean, they aren't even great stories. It's just basically like turning an anime season into a... Yeah, thing you can play through.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And I would like having my story completely separated, basically, into just cutscenes where they can actually do real camera work and things like a movie that look nice and are well presented.
Right.
Because walking around and hearing my characters talk to each other isn't exciting.
I think this is enough for a month full of the rant as goes. Like, this topic.
Yeah, we could go on there's so many
frustrating
facets to it.
Because, I mean, you know how many people think Western RPGs are patently superior to Japanese RPGs because Japanese RPGs play cutscenes, and that stops the gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you qualified holding up while a shitty cutscene played qualified as gameplay.
Yeah.
Silly me.
That's the thought that of walking down a hallway and talking to characters and stuff like that where it just automatically progresses is considered a decent way to tell anything.
Right.
That drives me insane. And in shorter games like, say, Gears of War, replayability is murdered by such scenes.
Right. And the problem is that most of these people don't even complete a game, let alone replay a game. So they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. We made games this horrible, disposable hallway of bullshit instead of this delightful place for people to play. That is just tragedy. And I mean, that's why I keep saying that the 7th generation of consoles is going to be the worst one. Because the Wii was covered in shovelware. No one made actual games for it. They made motion control bullshit for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's the only one who didn't.
And then fucking Sony and Microsoft's platforms this last gen were also covered in hallways of disposable bullshit. Hell, even Sony's guilty of that at least 2 times, maybe 3, of making something egregiously unreplayable. Heavenly Sword being one of them.
Oh my god.
I think that's the primary suspect here of like the worst case of Sony making something that is just horribly unreplayable.
What would you consider the other one?
I don't know. I just suspect they've probably done it, and I can't remember it. I mean, I could easily... I don't know. They did the downloadable games this gen. I didn't play all of their downloadable games. They had games like Siren.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
They did more downloadable stuff than even you or I own.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is amazing, because I would think that between me and you, we have most of Sony's library over the last gen, but none of us got Siren.
Yeah.
Or Puppeteer yet. But
you're right.
I hope to change that. There's got to be something. Okay, let's knock out the Vita. Oh man, I wish the Vita worked.
I wish the Vita people just bought it.
I wish the Vita. Yeah, I wish you assholes bought the Vita. I think that was the perfect level of graphics and everything. I mean, it does sit just before the 7th gen. Graphically speaking, it's like a Super Xbox. So the cost of making a game on it really isn't sky high like it is on consoles. And we now have the much improved tools of this last gen. So games like Gravity Rush are fucking amazing. So go out and buy a Vita.
I mean, you get Gravity Rush for free, basically.
Hey, welcome to Best Buy, where you buy this fucking console and you get free shit. Do you want this or the competition where everything fucking sucks and you have to pay for every fucking game and you don't get anything free except for the things that are trying to fleece you out of money?
And the ones you pay for, microtransactions. Because, you know.
You people are fucking idiots for buying an Xbox One and being okay with it. You should be fucking angry right now, you goddamn sheeple. I also played the Xbox One this last week.
Are we transitioning into that?
No, because I played other things and I feel like I should talk about them, like Battlefield 4.
Battlefield Royale.
Battlefield Royale.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
With cheese.
No, I'm not okay with that many layers. No. It's too damn cheesy. Battlefield 4. Fucking Origin. I talked about this last week. Would not fucking work. It kept saying, hey, you need an Origin account. I'm like, I have an Origin account. It's like, you need an Origin account. And I'm like, I have an Origin account. Why don't you have a button that lets me register my Origin account? And eventually I just said, fuck it, I'm going to make a new account. And I sent a really nasty email to EA, who did not get back to me and actually fix my problem for over a week. I sent them this really fucking nasty email. They still haven't replied to that. I'm pretty fucking angry at EA right now. It's about EA and how much I fucking hate EA. Yeah. Hey, guys.
Didn't those guys just release a new expansion pack for SimCity, a game that's not even done?
Fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. Man, they're probably the next to go.
Or at least scale back a lot.
I mean, they don't get a choice. They're probably going to have to drastically change how they're doing stuff. At least with the Common Engine initiative. Like Frostbite.
Right.
They've cut costs significantly there and streamlined making games. It's almost as workable as Sony's solution. Probably a better idea than Sony's solution just because they make multi-platform stuff. So from that perspective, I guess that's better than letting each studio make their own engine. But, that's also going to... It's cool and it's bad in a way that all of EA's games are going to look similar. It's kind of like Capcom, how that was the case for the last gen.
Right,
especially how Capcom had really bad effects in their engine.
They did have some bad effects in their engine, but I like the look of their engine. Like, it produced a look that I kind of agreed with visually.
I don't know. The motion blur was always fucking awful.
It was.
I never, ever thought that motion blur was okay, and it's still there in Resident Evil 6, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, that was a bad motion blur at the beginning of this gen. It's still a bad motion blur at the end of this gen. But in any case, there are several parts of the NT framework that I do not like, but that I digress. I think Frostbite's a much better engine visually, and it's more flexible from the different things that you can do with it. It's not like, hey phone, what's up? Okay. So I think that's going to result a lot better than how it looked on Capcom's end this year, or this last gen, of like every game looks like each other from you guys. I guess that's cool. I don't know if they're all going to look like, we're going for realism is probably going to be a thing, but it's not like that wasn't already a thing.
Right, that's already what they're doing. Speaking of the empty framework stuff, it's just like, man, then at the end of this gen, they had two just turds come out on Unreal, and they looked awful. DMC and Lost Planet 3 from Capcom.
Oh, wow, I forgot about Lost Planet 3.
Yeah. Just like, wow, guys, it's...
Well, those were their outsourced games.
Yeah.
Man, I'm serious when I say next gen, making a cheap game on Unreal Engine is going to be so much easier, and it's going to run so much better. Problem is, Unreal Engine isn't capable of what's going to be the genuine next-gen look. The genuine next-gen look, for everyone who's listening, and you can quote me on this, and it'll definitely be the case, 2 to 3 years in, the two major features that are going to determine whether or not something legitimately looks next-gen, other than your obvious, 1080p or whatever, the literal, specs of the image. But the rendering engine needs to have a materials-based lighting, so that way every material in the game is something they analyzed in real life and then duplicated in the game universe, so brick looks like brick and ceramic looks like ceramic, because these very subtle differences, they're subtle, but even watching on the shittiest TV, you can look at a game that uses this sort of approach and see that it looks a lot better, a lot more realistic, a lot more reasonable for your eyes than a lot of in-game graphics tend to, where it's just like, oh, what is this material? Like, you could look at a pot, ceramic thing, various other things like that in current gen games, like 7th gen, last gen.
Right.
And you could really be like you could have a debate with the guy next to you over what material that was made of. And with this more realistic approach, it really does get to, you can see those ceramic pots over there on the other side of the room and see how the blue one and the white one have very different reflectance properties. That sort of subtlety is going to be a lot more represented. You, the listener, can do this.
Yes.
Just use your mind's eye. That sort of subtlety is going to be represented in physically based rendering models. And that is like a huge thing. That should be across the board in the quadruple A, triple A going forward.
We mentioned that that's in Fox Engine and in
that's in Fox Engine.
In the guy's 1883
and CryEngine.
I thought even Square Enix said that that's in their newest engine as well.
I don't fucking listen to anything Square Enix says about their engines. They're full of shit.
Okay,
I mean,
that sounds reasonable.
This whole gen has proved that to me. They had 3 engines across this generation.
Yeah,
I can't even remember their fucking names because they changed the name of one of them.
What was
it? It was the one for 13.
Right. I think it's Luminous now, and it was White something before.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
I think the Luminous one is actually the second to last engine they had, not that one.
Okay.
Because that was the one where their tech demo was, look, we lit this room. Isn't this crazy realistic? Here's the picture of real life. Here's the picture of this in-engine thing. I'm like, you guys are so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And then they had that huge tech demo that they paraded around last year to show off what they can do with next gen.
Right.
And then I saw Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, and I'm like, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is fucking horseshit. One of these things... Wait. That's Kingdom Hearts 3. Both of these things are... Both of these things are fucking horseshit. I'm just saying. So, in any case, the second thing, were you going to make another point about how many engines that's already in? Or
no,
just pointing out
there are lots of engines that are using or implementing it already.
Or at least there are engines that important people.
Right. I mean, that one's at Sony, so that's going to be going everywhere. And so
Right. Sony's awesome with how they do tech, in that their tech goes to a lot of different developers in themselves. Like, God of War came up with an awesome, effective anti-aliasing method that used one SPU. And that showed up in every game after that. They were like, oh, this morphological anti-aliasing is really fucking effective. Hey, everyone, use this. So that was like one less thing all of their developers had to worry about on a resources scale, which is really important to do that. There's no reason all of your studios should be reinventing the wheel.
Right.
So next gen, when we get to this level of like, okay, we have material-based rendering, everyone do that, like Killzone. Killzone, you'll notice, also already has that look of like, you can look at an object and have an idea of like, okay, that looks like a really cool glass bridge, or that looks like an awesome waving flag, and like these neon screens look very fucking spot on the tile floor. Like, Killzone has amazing technology in it. And it already has the roughness thing, which is what we're talking about, with the lighting models being physically based. By the way, so about not trusting Square Enix or Japanese companies when they talk about this shit.
Yeah.
You remember that Tri-Ace tech demo from 3 years ago that had that in it?
That had that?
It was physically based rendering.
What? They said
Where's
that?
the game based on that?
Well, first Tri-Ace needs to get money. It all.
Trace gotta get paid, son.
Wait, I guess they're making that one game. That
fucking Fantasy Star game that's
for the Vita.
Fuck Sega, I know that shit isn't based on the Phantasy Star Online 2 engine. Did you read that? Dude, you gotta go watch that Sony video.
I remember reading something about that.
They said it was based on the... Oh, fuck them. That shit is not based on that. I can tell you right now. I looked at it for 10 seconds and you can tell it's not fucking based on that. Why would they even do that? Why would they even say that? Japanese companies are fucking crazy. They went out of their minds this last gen because we outstripped them on tech. So then they figured, well, all these Americans are talking about these engines they have. We should talk about our engines too. What's an engine? And then they just said a bunch of shit, and they're still saying shit. And that's basically how it went. But in any case, the second thing, I know, I really built up anticipation for this. Fully dynamic lighting. Because Sony is already almost at a workable state with their Sfogy like solution. which is sparse voxel octree global illumination. And it's not literally Sfogy, it's actually called Sfogy-like, because it's not using octrees, it's using cones. So basically what it is, and I love that I'm going to summarize it down to like 2 sentences. For every pixel on the screen, it has it basically is calculating the pixel for each of them in an approach one might compare to ray tracing. It isn't quite ray tracing, it's different in a very distinct way. But you could just say it's like ray tracing. That Unreal Engine 4 tech demo that came out that was like, this is what Unreal Engine 4 could do, that none of the games are going to do, was Sfogy. That was a Sfogy lighting approach, where it was sparse voxel octree global illumination.
I wonder when the first Unreal 4 game was going to come out.
Oh, Fortnite?
Oh, is that going to be on there?
Yeah, that's Unreal Engine 4.
Weird. Wasn't that announced before Unreal Engine 4?
No, I think they were like, this is our next engine game. And then they just showed a CG trailer. And they've been working on it since.
Wow.
Fortnite, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're saying?
But yeah, so that was Sfogy. The Sony lighting solution is Sfogy-like. Basically, any solution that doesn't involve pre-baking light maps, and it is a fully dynamic, fully realistic, on-the-fly lighting solution for every bit of light. I think by about halfway through this gen, the prettiest games, the most amazing games, most accurately, the most amazing games are going to be shit driven by this sort of stuff, because you could do really cool stuff with that. Now, at the same time, I think both the Killzone developers and CryEngine developers have come out and said doing fully dynamic lights does limit you in some ways, in that from a level design standpoint, if you go, I need some light here because it's going to look cool because blah, then you have to really think about like, okay, well, how are we going to looks around room, where are we putting this light? But you know, there are ways you can cheat that.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think those two things are really going to make what looks next gen. So this launch is especially funny because only 2 games out of all of them really, well, I guess Knack does. So really 3 games out of all of them remotely approach these 2 things. Like 2 of them are physically based rendering. That third one is physically based rendering-esque. Because have you Final Bossman wasn't kidding. Have you stared at the rocks in Knack?
I have not.
Well, we're doing a quick play later, and then you will get to.
Okay.
They're really pretty.
Okay, I believe it.
I've never ever said that sentence in my life. Like, those rocks are really pretty, but the rocks are really pretty. Yeah, so I don't even know how I got started on that tangent, but Sony's looking really strong for this next gen. Just they are working.
Microsoft owned Crytek, right? Wait a second.
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that the most amazing thing? Like, the best looking console title for the next gen is Killzone, but the second best is Rise. But the problem is Microsoft doesn't own CryEngine at all. They're definitely out just to make money, and if they really look at it now, they have more to gain from doing a super impressive PS4 game than they do just an Xbox One exclusive. But whatever. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, the funniest thing is Microsoft basically paid them to learn how to use or get their engine up to snuff for next gen. Now they're going to use their next gen engine everywhere.
Well, here's the amusing thing. Crysis. There we go.
Crysis.
Sorry, it just always start at Far Cry. I'm like, CryEngine. Wait, no, that's the engine. Far Cry. Wait. Somewhere between these two. But Crysis 3 actually has a lot of that physically based rendering sort of stuff. You can run that game on a dual Titan setup, and it still makes it cry.
That's hilarious.
That's their place in the world.
It is.
And the amazing thing is, someday that game will run right. Unlike the original Crysis.
Right. It was like, that thing's still pushing benchmarks. Yeah, because it's not freaking made right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I would really like to see a Crysis 3-pack. I'd buy a Crysis 3-pack for the PS4. Because think, it's all 3 of those games running on PS4 hardware.
Yeah, that could be nice. I bought Crysis 2, and
what were you thinking?
It was like $1 or something. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play Crysis 2 Maximum Edition on the PC. I'm not doing that.
But your PC also... Yeah. But you didn't like it just because...
Yeah, no, I actually got settings that ran right and everything like that after playing with the settings forever. And
PC!
It wasn't even fun. Like, at all.
I enjoyed Crysis 1 a good bit.
Yeah, this is totally different than that.
Oh, I know. I know. See, really, I'm
the guy in your headset, and I'm like, hey, let's go to this end of the city in this hallway. Okay, let's go. Go down this street, too. Okay, yeah,
I actually know the full plot to Crysis 2, so I know what you're talking about. I read a summary, a very fucking detailed summary on Wikipedia.
Yeah?
It's like, this is nuts. If you think the plot's already, like, punishingly dumb.
I mean, I've seen 3 and how one guy's back to life, so I figure, yeah, it gets stupid.
Okay, so which guy's back to life? Spoilers.
Psycho, I think his name is?
Prophet.
You
You are Prophet by the end of 2. You're like, I am Prophet. That's the ending of 2. You just go, that's what you say, and then it's over. Because the suit reprogrammed you to be Prophet, I guess, was the point of the game.
I guess they turned you into him as well, because you were some white dude, I think, before you put the suit on.
Or something, yeah.
That's dumb. But I knew it was coming. Yeah, it was something that dumb. Man, do you think he remembered shooting himself in the head?
So Battlefield 4 has a fucking punishingly stupid single player, which I'm okay with. That honestly didn't bug me that much. It bugged me the most when you get to the ending, and the ending of Battlefield 4 involves making a choice, and you basically just sacrifice one ally, another ally, or you dawdle around so long that you fail your mission, and that is an ending. But the ending actually consists of 4 fucking seconds of a shot of a chopper flying and some people, and one person saying something into a radio. So, no matter what your choice, at the end of this lazily designed mission, at the end of Battlefield 4, worst mission in the game, easily. You just hear 4 seconds, and then credits. And over the credits, your allies are just saying something. They're talking to each other, too. You got to choose between sacrificing. And they're saying stuff that you're like, where does this conversation fit? And they're just having this conversation. It's sort of about sacrifice or something. And it's like, it thinks it's really important and really digging into the tone of what the game's about. And it's just going to keep doing that. And it's awful. So I never once listened to more than a minute and a half. I got like a minute and a half in it. And I was like, nope, hits button. And then there are trophies for getting all 3 endings. So I thought the endings would be different. So I plowed through them. Some people actually tuned in for the live stream. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. It was pretty fucking awful. It was just 4 seconds difference. And 2 of the endings have the exact same clip play.
Yep. That sounds great.
Why did they put that in the game?
I don't know. I don't know. Why would you need a choice there? What's the point?
What's the point of a choice system that doesn't actually have divergent endings?
Yeah, I mean, when you chose in freaking Jedi Knight 2, those are some different endings.
You want some different endings? Yeah. You go to Jedi Knight 2.
You just go, let's play some Jedi Knight 2.
No, you want some different endings? Go play Mass Effect 3. Choose color.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not at all invested in that.
Me too. Man,
I can just stay out of that argument.
I'm really also glad that every time they said, based on your decisions in 1 and 2, 3 is going to be a drastically different game, I was like, they're fucking lying to you guys. And they were. Dun-dun-dun.
Amazing.
Who would have thought that that's not how video games fucking work? You can't write a narrative around that. You want to know how that would actually work if your decisions in 1 and 2 drastically affected 3? The game would end after like 10 hours because you did something fucking horrible in 1, which cuts off half of the in-game characters in 3. You don't want that game. You want 80 hours of gameplay because you want to throw your life into a $60 disc pit.
You know what Battlefield should have played during the credits instead of that conversation? Huh. Just that song from the beginning. Turn bright eyes. I like that song. I mean, why not? Just keep playing it.
Okay, so thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to completely spoil the first level of this game because, one, the plot's fucking stupid, and if you're playing for the plot, fuck you. And don't worry, if you beat that level, you'll be like, he's right, fuck me. So I don't know if the game was being funny. I think it was being serious.
Oh no, that's always the worst.
But it being serious isn't funny, but if it was being funny, it was hilarious. So here's how Battlefield 4 starts. It starts with that scene that they showed first off of the game, where you're in the Jeep underwater and your guy in the back seat's buried under a chair because you crashed into the ocean. And you can't unpin him from the chair, and you got to blow out the windshield with a gun. And the water rushes and basically drowns him, and you have to escape. But it ends right when you shoot the window and you start playing the level from 15, 20 minutes earlier in-game time, which really, because of how I played it, it was nowhere near that short amount of time.
Yeah, they should have just said earlier. I have no idea why they...
Because they're fucking stupid. Because they're stupid and they don't know what they're doing with the plot words. By the way, I love Battlefield. As a series, I really do. Always thought it was superior to Call of Duty. Single player is something I never ever wanted a Battlefield to even have. And I don't think any Battlefield fan ever really wanted that.
Yeah.
But in any case, so you play through this level and you're fucking... like this building blows up and all this stuff falls down and you get buried under the rubble, and your friend, one of your people in the squadron, pulls all this rubble off of you and unburies you. But then you stand up and next to you is the guy who dies, who's buried under the chair. Like, this is right at the end of this level. He's buried under the chair in the Jeep, so you know he's gonna die, right?
Right.
And he's crushed under rubble. And somebody's like, oh man, his leg looks like a popped sausage. Oh, this is gross, or something like that. And he's like, oh man, he's gonna die. We gotta cut him, or he's gonna die. Oh man, can we get a medic? And it's all like, you just don't give a shit because you know he makes it to that Jeep and he dies in that Jeep. So there's no tension. And the pop sausage thing was disgusting. They really should have said that. That was just some sensationalist bullshit. So the guy's like, he says something to you that he said in the Jeep at the beginning. He says, the wolf sometimes, in order to have the will to survive, has to cut off its own leg, or chew off its own leg. Cut me. And he hands you a knife. And then you have to push a button, and you cut through his entire leg in one sk. Like, you place it under his kneecap and turn it towards his thigh, and you push the button and it just goes up with it.
Okay.
So it was like, I know he's making it to that Jeep, but then he goes, ah! And then he stops moving. And then he's like, oh shit, did you kill him? And he's like, no, man, he's passed out from the pain. Why didn't you pay attention during this course? And he's like, dude, that course was 2 hours long. And that was it. I was like, that's kind of amusing, but all the tension's lost in this scene. So I haven't gotten to the part that I'm not sure if it's serious or not yet. I needed all that to build the tone, right?
Okay.
So that's half funny and like, that's kind of funny, but there was no tension there. You get in the Jeep, and as you're driving down the road, escaping from a chopper that's firing missiles at you and covering the street and shit, you just hear distant, echoey, the chorus to that song, and it's like, turn around, and your character goes... or somebody else goes, I forget which. They're just like, did anybody else hear the first lines to Dixie? And then you keep driving. And I'm like, what? What? What is going on? So you keep driving, and then the chopper blows up the side of your vehicle, like, poof, and like the door gets blown open by this. And you fall out, and you're like, whoa, and your ally pulls you back in. And then he hands you a grenade launcher, and he goes, light him up, Wrecker! Because your name's Wrecker. So as you turn with the grenade launcher, it's slow-mo, and then it starts playing the song. It's like, turn around. And I'm like, what is going on? Is this serious? Because it is so self-serious during all of that. But then it does that, and that's the only moment like that in the whole game.
Because I saw that part, actually. They showed that in some trailers and stuff, like pre-release things. And I was like, I hope that they keep doing that sort of thing, because that's kind of cool.
I thought it was really fucking hilarious, but I was so confused by the tone of every other aspect of it. Like, oh man, is he gonna make it? I already saw that he made it. Wow, you guys are fucking competent at telling a story. Yeah, no, the next closest moment to that in tone is at one point about halfway through the game, you're in China and you're trying to escape. You flew off these people on a rooftop with a chopper, and for whatever reason you couldn't fit in this helicopter with the two of them, which made no fucking the three of them. Your troop at this point is like 3 guys, so 3 more people in a chopper. I think, it's a chopper, you could probably fit them. They could stand and hold bars. They could do any number of but
look, maybe
chopper,
they researched like the weight limits and everything, and they knew that wouldn't work.
So you fight your way down from the rooftop, and you blow up these tanks, and you just barely escape with some random Chinese denizens.
I'm expecting this to end with, and you get in the chopper.
So you get on these boats,
okay,
and you start going out into the ocean on these boats, escaping from the militant Chinese group faction. I'm sorry, and an EMP goes off, and the whole city goes dark, and he's like, "Oh man, what the fuck was that?" And another one's like, "It must have been an EMP, man." And everyone's freaking out, and he's like, "Don't worry, it's an EMP. It doesn't kill people." And they're Chinese, so they have no idea what he's saying.
Right.
So then they're like, "Oh man, okay, we're this far out from the boat. We gotta make it back to that boat." But there are all these boats of all these Chinese people, and it's like, why are they all escaping on all of these boats at the same time as you made it to this boat, this one boat, with these 3 or 4 people? Like, why are all these boats in the ocean now? Why are they all out here in this river or ocean, whatever, like at this exact moment? That's so weird.
Or something?
No, you were escaping. You were escaping on a boat. You blew up the tank that was in your way, and you barely got out. The 4 people who magically caught up to you in an unbelievable amount of time after you blow up the tank escaped with you, right?
Okay.
So yeah, they're just like maybe a dozen or more other boats full of Chinese people just trying to escape the militant faction.
Weird.
Because it's an issue to the civilians. They're being murdered.
Okay.
But at this exact moment, what?
And why are the boats all working?
And they're no. See, the EMP goes off.
Okay.
And knocks out all these boats in the cities, and your guys start screaming that stuff, and then one of your dudes, the guy who's all about getting it done, is like, "We gotta get this boat back to the USS Valkyrie." And he's like, "No! We gotta save all these people! Come on, people! Come on! We're gonna take you to the USS Valkyrie!" And he's like, "Dude, settle down. We don't have space for all these people." He's like, "No, shut up. We're gonna save them all. Come on, people. Follow me. Follow me, people. We'll take you to the USS Valkyrie. Come on. We can make it." He's yelling at no one. He's looking at all the wrong directions. He's staring at the ocean, waving it towards him, away from the direction they're going, because the mocap was done in a way where they clearly had no idea how the scene would be set up. And it was fucking insane. Because they don't even speak English. 10 seconds later, there are 500 Chinese people aboard this boat. And I'm like, there's so many layers. There's so many layers wrong with this.
Okay. Battlefield sounds amazing.
Yes, Battlefield 4. Holy fucking shit, is that plot stupid.
I kind of need to play that now. That sounds so bad.
But it's like, yeah, it is. It is so bad. It is so bad. It is the worst. I can't think of a dumber game I've played recently. And that says a lot. I remember when I was telling you, I'm like, this single player story is so stupid. It's just fucking insane, stupid ass single player. You made some sort of crack about DMC, which it was also in the back of my head while I'm saying this. I'm like, no, no. Because this whole story is that from beginning to end.
Wow.
There's so many moments like that. There's so many moments exactly like that moment I just described of none of this. None of this is executing right because, like, the writer wrote one thing. The mocap studio did a thing that fits that description. And then when it was inserted crudely into the game, it just doesn't work because he's waving at nobody and talking to... Yeah. And so much of the game fits that description. And then just on a plot layer, like, it was already stupid to begin with. He's yelling at Chinese people. He has no translator, and they're all just gonna...
Follow the U.S. Marine guy?
Yeah, which, of course, they don't even know that. I don't think you're wearing official fatigues at that exact moment. Huh. I'm not positive. It was an undercover mission, so it kind of makes sense for you to not. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense for you, too. It was weird. So yeah, that's the stupidest game. I mean, your enemy in this is Russian China. It's like, oh no, it's the Russians helping the Chinese. And I'm like, okay, we did it. Our worst fears over the last half a century just combined into one enemy, Russian Chinese. If the Nazis were still around, we would just fucking... The Russian Chinese are planning a new Nazi movement. Like, that's the only way you can stupider from here, so...
Okay, yeah.
I'd play that. I'd play that.
Is that Wolfenstein New Order?
I hope. I'm really interested in that and Thief. This is the most excited and interested in video games I've been in a very long time. Because this gen went on way too long.
It did. It overstayed its welcome by years.
Yeah. I know so many people who are just like, I feel like the PS3 could have kept on keeping on.
I keep hearing that. It's like, how can things get better than they are now? It's like, I don't know how things been getting better over the last, like, ever.
Right.
How do you not, like, imagine that? I mean, there are people I've talked to who can't imagine Assassin's Creed being any better. And it's like, are you dumb?
I played the first one, and I imagined a much better game as 2.
Yeah.
Here we are 3 later, and still not there. But hey,
3?
At least... Well, that's true.
Oops!
Shit, let's count some portable ones. We'll be up to number 23. I also played Knack. Knack's plot is also stupid, but not as stupid and a little bit more crazy.
Huh.
So to give a basic summary of why it's so crazy, the doctor, who is the guy who invented Knack, so he is the guy you spend the most time with in the game, is a bad person.
That's really weird.
No fucking joke, right? So you go to solve this goblin menace out in these goblin villages. So you solve that. And there's this guy who's like, I'm going to stay with this goblin to figure out where they're getting the weapons from. And the scientist is like, okay, we're going to blah, but then we'll be right back to do blah. So you are now, you're Knack, of course.
Of course.
So you follow the scientist, the doctor, and then this kid, this scrappy kid comes with you. His name's Lucas. So you go off to Victor's castle. And you're in Victor's castle, and you're trying to get this information about, like, where the weapons came from or stuff like that. And you beat the shit out of everything. And then you find out about this super relic secret temple thing with all the largest relics in the world, and it's amazing. And now the doctor's like, maybe, just maybe, follow me on this. Fuck that guy. Let's leave him out there in the middle of fucking nowhere with a goblin trapped under garbage. Let's leave him out there. Not actually call anyone. Not get anyone to come pick him up. And go investigate that temple. And you do. And I'm like, wow, this game is teaching children to be awful.
That is awful. What?
He's an awful human being the whole game, and you go like 90% of it before anyone just goes, you're a fucking dick. And then the game sort of becomes about that, but it's also about his dead girlfriend, who isn't dead, who is revived by the goblins. By the way, spoilers. It's fucking crazy. And then she's like, Doctor, and he's like, oh my god, you're alive! Quick, come with me, we can escape. And she's like, no, I can't. And he's like, why did you make the weapons? You made the weapons to destroy the humans. And she's like, I didn't mean to destroy the humans. And he's like, come with us. And he's like, no, you left me for dead, Doctor. And he's like, no, I tried to find you for weeks, but you weren't there. Because the goblins got you. I would have found you if they didn't, goddammit, when you fell and died in that cave. And then she's like, well, I can't come back now because I killed a lot of human beings with my armor tech planes and stuff, so I'm going to stay with the goblins. And then he's like, fine, here's this. Call me if you change your bitch mind. No joke. You beat the shit out of the goblin by the end of that mission, right?
Okay.
The next chapter, he's like, bitch, make me more weapons. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Then he's like, then get the fuck out of here. And then she's like, well, I guess I better call that doctor. Like, that's the plot. That's the level this plot is. It's fucking amazing. Me and Tosh are playing through it. We're co-oping the whole way. And we're just like, that scene didn't make any sense. What is even going on anymore? Yeah.
Okay. Do you play anything else, Dad?
Did you play things that weren't fucking crazy?
The games I played weren't that crazy.
Is Killzone Shadowfall that crazy? How much of it?
I have not played much of any of that. So
like
so far
chapters...
it's not been. I beat chapter like 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
After your dad
I hear
dies.
the ending is worse than 3, which that's a tall order.
It is, because yeehaw, we blew up the entire home planet of the Helghast.
I mean, you know, there's something to be said about that, but at the same time, while the physics and scale are working like a 10-year-old drew it, where the plane is like half of the size of a continent.
Yeah. Yep. Helghast is really small.
It's tiny.
Tiny.
I love how the stinger at the end of 3 probably isn't even going to affect this one.
Right.
I can't wait. I hope that game also has an insane plot, so I can make an episode of the Rantus Go about how every next-gen game is fucking crazy. AAA studios and publishers lost their goddamn minds. I'm terrified NBA Jam, or NBA 2K14, is going to end with me killing LeBron James over a chicken wing. No, LeBron, that was my boinless hot wing. Yeah, fuck you, so. I'll kill you! And then I have to, like, jam the square button until I take, like, piano wire and shove it through his neck.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
The story was gripping and visceral. And awesome. Man, we need a list of words I'm never allowed to use in a review. I think it's going to be visceral, awesome, and gripping. Yeah, I think those are the 3. Yeah, awesome, visceral. Those 2 are really on the top of my shit list.
All right.
I hate every time I hear those. I'm like, how was it visceral? How was it visceral? Can you say how it was visceral? How was it visceral? Did you feel those were your hands in the pretend 3D polygon world? Are you on acid when you do these reviews? Awesome, it was awesome. Like bacon is awesome? I think it is, because you just said awesome because people say awesome a lot, you fucking idiot. Fuck you. See, it's different when we're sitting here doing a podcast and we're just saying a bunch of shit. And we just say words. Words that are approximating our feelings. When people write things, they sit down and they type out words and they get minutes to review, if not hours, to review the words they have written and whether or not they're accurate. And let me tell you, awesome, generally speaking, is not. You know, Remember Me was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did someone say that? Probably.
Definitely. Oh yeah, did you hear that Walmart's gonna have 1 year of PlayStation Plus on sale for $30?
No, I didn't.
I'm thinking about walking in with $120 and just being good.
That would settle it.
Yeah, because those codes generally don't expire for a while, and even if they do,
you can just
stack
pile
them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on free right now, so I don't know if I'll get another year free or not. That's just depends on if that on PlayStation website does it again.
Oh yeah, is that still?
It's not up there anymore. Like it was only for 1 month a while back when they were like, we really need to push PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm like, remember that time the Walmart in Definiak Springs was fucking crazy and discounted the...
Yes.
Right. See, I think of that every day. Every day I think, if I just spent $200, this gen would have been free. I could have made it rain. Because, of course, Bob knows. He has the context. You, the listener, doesn't. A Walmart in the middle of Podak ass, middle of nowhere, started discounting money on the PlayStation Store for like a fourth price. So if I had just spent $250, I could have had $1,000 and been good for this entire next generation of games, where every game's downloadable.
At that point,
downloadable games.
Yeah, downloadable
weren't
games.
Full retail games.
Yeah, they didn't have that.
I mean, even when the Vita hit years later, that would have been good enough for that.
Right? Yeah. You'd be set.
But no, that wasn't a thing back then. If only we had a time machine. Knack, now that we have this time machine, maybe fuck Bob, who's trapped under carnage next to an erupting volcano. Maybe he can go fuck himself.
You're onto something there, Doctor. I think so.
What was the name of that series we were talking about there? Where it was a stage play that was terribly reenacting game plots that were really stupid.
What was it?
Spoiler Theater.
That's it.
We should probably just do that with still frame images.
Okay.
Or wait, weren't we talking about like you would Photoshop out the silhouette of the character and then we just move them jankily in front of it? We should do that for Knack. The first Spoiler Theater should be Knack.
Okay.
And then we should do that. And that would be fucking hilarious. Maybe fuck that guy. Maybe he can, I don't know, wait until other goblins show up and rape him to death.
I like that.
Because there was, like, it wasn't like we killed all the goblins ever. It was like we blew out that one base, and their leader is trapped under. Any goblin could have shown up, like, any small troop of, like, 10 goblins shown up and beaten the crap out of that guy.
That guy did not have any armaments.
He didn't have any weapons. He didn't have any armor. He didn't have any mints. He didn't have any breath mints. He had nothing.
Wow.
And we just fucking left him out there because the doctor's like, I like relics so much. And Lucas, for whatever reason, at this point in the game is just being like, not saying anything like, hey, Doug, maybe you're an asshole. He waits until 90% through the game where that guy who was left in the middle of nowhere tells him, hey, I'm really proud of you when you tell the doctor he's an asshole. You should say that more often.
Okay, is the guy left in the middle of nowhere
He's alive later.
Okay.
But it sort of looks like he's dead for a bit because some ships come up and start firing lasers and shit at him. So it's like, holy fuck, yeah, he's dead now. Great job, guys. But then he's alive later, and he's totally okay with having been left out there.
Weird.
He doesn't notice that was weird.
Well, maybe, I guess that he could just assume that it took him longer than expected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking, which is insane.
Ugh.
Yeah, Knack is fucking crazy. Battlefield's fucking crazy. Resogun's sane. Resogun is awesome. I've already
Save all the humans.
Save the last humans. What was it? Somebody made a Resogun cake, layered cake of all the levels. You see on those cake shows.
That's pretty cool.
It was really cool. So then I replied to them and I was like, save the last slices. And just save the last slice. And I was like, and they were like,
yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. So I believe, even though that was not all the games I played, it is approximate of all the games I played. And we will move on now to talking about the Xbox One. We're not even going to talk about news. Here's the news. Oath and Felghana, or sorry, not Oath and Felghana. Celceta Sea of Trees Ease came out for the Vita. Go buy it.
You know what the other news is?
What?
That GDC developer conference.
Oh yeah, the postmortem conference.
Everyone,
come! We're here to announce I made Shenmue.
Wow.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you did that.
Thanks, Yu Suzuki. How's old age treating you? Oh, I'm crazy. I threw a conference to tell you I made a game. That was like a decade ago. Man, that was over a decade ago.
Yeah,
that's a little crazy,
right?
Because we haven't done much to drastically improve games since then. Which is why everyone who's like, oh, newer consoles are dumb. These game companies are stupid. Nintendo knows where it's at. They're innovating correctly. I'm like, you just don't understand. You were here for the exciting part of game history. From here on out is where we get to be jaded assholes. The next time we get to not be jaded assholes is the Oculus Rift in PlayStation VR. Because those are legitimately novel new ways to experience things. We hit 3D and we were done. Now we're just making it better. So shut up and keep buying this shit so you can stay involved and move this medium forward. Because it doesn't matter if we're moving forward slowly. The point is that we're moving forward. Unlike the movie industry. Fuck them. What's up? There was your news. Now we're going to talk about the Xbox One and our experience playing it right after this break, brought to you by Neuroscience. Or Neurofuel.
There you go.
Neurofuel. Oddly looks like piss.
That should be on the back of the box.
Oh, definitely. Those drinks come in boxes.
Yeah.
Especially ones with the word Max on them. So, Bob.
What's up?
We played the Xbox One.
We did.
I'm going to start this off the most fucking bold-faced way I can. That was shit. I don't like that controller. The user experience was awful. The OS running at 30 frames per second is a fucking travesty. And that scaler thing where it's fucking with the visuals is so fucking nuts. The fact the games aren't even balanced right for the full color depth is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't...
There were so many layers of that experience that were like, Xbox. No, sweetie, listen. It was like having a kid. You just have to keep repeating yourself and getting angry and disappointed and frustrated when it doesn't do what you tell it to do.
We had 3 different people there, all just very separately saying things in very clear voices. And yeah, just
very different tones too. The voice thing just doesn't work.
Yeah, not consistently at all.
Yeah, there's no way I would want to rely on that to use the system.
It was like Xbox. Go to something.
Forza mode.
And then it's like brought us to the video screen, to the video settings.
We were like Xbox Snap Bing, and it tried to do everything else but Snap Bing. And then when we tried to do something else, oh yeah, that's right. We finally got it to Snap Internet Explorer, and then it snapped straight with Bing on Internet Explorer, and that was really funny. That we spent so long trying to get it to Snap Bing. But yeah,
and then Bing. I think Bing ended up only searching for things on the consoles or on the marketplace.
Yeah,
even though. Okay, yeah.
Even though that's not really Bing's thing.
It's like you took us to Bing when you took us to Internet Explorer. Why?
Yeah. So in any case, I think personally, I don't know. I was really disappointed by the really long load times on Killer Instinct and the like.
And yeah, everything had a long load time.
The load times are enormous.
It's not like we were not done installing the things either. It wasn't that situation. It's like Killer Instinct fully downloaded, fully installed, and was still taking forever to load.
We're not talking like an initial really long load. Killer Instinct, you would go from level to level in the survival mode, and it would take a minute, a minute and a half for every fight. That's a lot of staring at no one on the screen.
We should have checked if Rematch did that, because it's like that's how we would play a fighting game.
Right, if we were to play a Killer Instinct, which playing that really just, it's... The original Killer Instinct was gaudy. But this is gaudier. How it managed to do that is beyond me. But yeah, in any case, yeah, that is how we would play it if we were to play Killer Instinct. You and I, we would just rematch like crazy.
Right.
But since we only had one character and there wasn't,
that wasn't even.
Yeah, no.
That didn't feel good at all.
That
controller also is also very, very bad for fighters still.
Yeah, but then again, still lots of weird assholes enjoy using 360 controllers for fighters, so whatever, fuck it. You sheeple will do anything.
I don't know. It's worse in some ways than the 360 one. Like, I have to wonder if it'll be worse in ways that people really don't like the R2 button and the R1 button.
The RT and RB.
Yes.
Allow me to translate to Xbox.
Those are both not good.
Yeah, the RB key is really, 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 really not accessible in a way that's super convenient. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when I got messed with one.
That's not saying it's impossible to hit. That's saying that hitting it while you're on the trigger is actually rather difficult, and oddly so compared to, like, say, 360 controller or even the PS3 controller or 4.
Basically, any controller.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can't think of a single one that's that awkward on. Even Z and R on GameCube is easier than that.
Yeah, the Wii U thing is pretty weird, though. It's not that awkward, but it's just super weird. ZR and ZL.
Oh, okay.
And then your R and L. Yeah, that was just the way that feels with the. Yeah, I don't know. There would have to be a real game on the Wii U for me to start making complaints about button placement. The texture around the analog stick that you see as the outer ring of each analog stick, I thought that would be a cool thing when I saw it. I was like, okay, that looks cool. I get my hands on it. It's a very coarse texture. It basically viscerally gives you the message, hey, you're not supposed to be here. This isn't a comfy place. Inside that stick is a comfy place. But since inside the stick is a straight concave, instead of the half concave, half convex nature of the PS4 analog stick, it doesn't feel as good as the PS4 analog stick. Your thumb doesn't rest in there and actually rest on something in the middle. It just sort of rests on the ring on top. So it just doesn't feel that good just from a resting standpoint. And then the analog stick itself doesn't have as strong of resistance as the PS4. And I think the 360, but I mean, I think it's been so long since anyone's had their hands on a fresh 360 controller that.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a while.
Yeah, I did not appreciate what the controller was going for. At least the D-pad isn't a fucking nightmare like it used to be.
Right.
Like, that thing was completely awful before, and now it's improved. It's still not something I would ever be okay with using on a long 2D game.
Yeah, it's still not good per se. I wouldn't go into that territory.
No.
And yeah, considering I feel that it's worse than the 360 controller in every other way, that's really bad.
So at a basic level, we can just say that. Instead of me going into detail about all these different elements that I just find offensive and disappointing. Because I was still hoping that the Xbox One controller would be a legitimate improvement over this predecessor. And no, it isn't. Like, that is a worse controller.
Yeah, I've been holding it for the past 2 weeks or so since it came out, just like messing with it in my job, but actually playing it on a game, it's like, oh, that, like, the trigger rumbles didn't compensate for this the way I expected it to, so this just feels bad. Yeah,
it feels weird. All three of us agreed, which we felt it in multiple games, at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, Dead Rising,
Forza, and
in Crimson Dragon.
Crimson Dragon, thank you. I was trying to remember the name of that. The trigger rumble just feels weird. Like, I thought it felt weird. Tim was saying he felt weird.
It just felt odd. Yeah.
It doesn't feel visceral. It doesn't feel like it's much improved the feedback mechanism of like, yeah, I really feel like I'm pushing down an accelerator on a car.
It was kind of nifty the different ways they were able to use it in Forza, because it was like, I got a lot of different feel from it for the different things I did. Like when I was doing donuts, it was like, okay, this is just going to be a lot of shaking. And there's just a little bit of subtle shake going up to switching gears and that sort of thing for accelerating. And it's like, okay, that kind of works, but I'm still like, this feels squishy. I don't like it.
I just feel like it feels fucking random.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like the product of a company that had no idea how to improve on its predecessor because everyone who made that controller no longer works at the company.
I am like... Because when I got the PS4 controller and people have been saying stuff about, the Rumble's kind of different now. It feels a little different. I'm like, I really didn't notice much about that.
You really?
Yeah, I did not, like... I guess I don't heavily analyze how Rumble is in games, especially not for the types of games that have come out so far. Like, I really noticed Rumble in action games, because I play those enough to be like, okay, that's what I expect.
Killzone. You've played enough shooters last gen. I think everyone can say that sentence.
I played a lot of shooters last gen. The Rumble's
like it's every launch game, just the Rumble's oddly weaker and different. And for some reason, I was just sitting there on the PS4 and I was like, I can't wait till we get a game that uses this like a shoot. I have 2 of those. Wait a second, I felt that. That felt weirdly weaker and different, but not in a distinctly good way. It's just different now. What? What? Because everything else about the controller was a distinct improvement over its predecessor. Everything. Unlike the Xbox One. So, now that we've talked about that, Knack Sports Rivals preseason is a demo for the wave race functionality in Knack Sports.
Now, the trigger rumble in this game was really weird.
Because it was your hand holding in midair, shaking because you have cerebral palsy. Because you, I guess, wanted to troll the Kinect into thinking it was having problems reading your body movement. Yeah.
Okay.
That grimdark of a joke.
Yep.
Just hitting the bottom. No, to be perfectly serious. I thought that... For one, holding your arms in a rigid position, because you use the Kinect to play this, you hold your arms just straight out like you're holding the handles on a wave racer, and then you turn them, like you bring one back and push the other one forward, and then you lean to do this. That is surprisingly much more exhausting than actually, like, I think I'd rather hold something while doing that, and that would actually somehow be less physically exhausting because I would have the counteracting forces of the hands to work with each other.
Yeah, you'd be something if you were bracing something, like a jet ski thing.
Maybe not even a thing that is attached to the ground, because obviously with that, you would put your weight on it. I really think just holding a stick.
No, I mean I've tried just holding things like that, and it's still the weight builds up faster than these things.
Like here's what I think it is for me.
Yeah.
I think I'm just so fucking like, this Kinect is not gonna fucking understand what I'm doing unless I'm exactly parallel. So the process of perfectly doing this is a lot more exhausting than if I just held a stick and knew. Like I could do that.
Okay,
and they would properly move my hands.
If you just knew that was the right way. But I mean, just the racing is lasting that length of time is... No, they only lasted that long because none of us were really that good at the game.
Tim got first that one time.
Yes.
I have no fucking clue how he just knocked it out of the park.
Right.
And then the next time, him and I were like, duh, water. And drive the boat, mobile. And so you open and close your right hand to do the accelerator, and then you lean and move your hands back and forth like you're holding the handles on a jet ski to turn. I wish they'd let me use a fucking controller. I want a normal wave race game.
But that wouldn't be Knack Sports Rivals.
That wouldn't be gimmick horseshit central. No.
Yeah, they have to crank out one of these games, and they weren't ready for launch, so now you get a demo.
So now I get a demo, and that game comes out months later.
Right.
We played Crimson Dragon.
Moving on.
Tim actually grew up with Panzer Dragoon. And, it pretty effectively ruined his childhood. He was like, you guys want to ruin your childhood? Here you go. Offers the controller after he played one level. I'm like, no, that's okay, Tim, because I didn't grow up with Panzer Dragoon. I grew up wanting a Sega Saturn for Panzer Dragoon. And then playing Orta on the Xbox, which was so fucking good. And then playing a demo for the PC port of the original Panzer Dragoon, which was so fucking good. I really just want a game like that. I want a game like Panzer Dragoon so bad, guys. So bad, you don't even know. You thought I sucked Bunny Must Die's dick in that review? You don't know cock-sucking. If they came out with a real Panzer Dragoon, I'd be like, you would hear this the whole room. Panzer Dragoon, great game. It's the greatest game ever made. Bunny Must Die would get jealous looking at the blowjob I gave the next Panzer Dragoon game. But they are making it, and Crimson Dragon isn't it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I just couldn't find reviews on. Anyone reviewing that game who had played Panzer Dragoon.
Which is fucking insane.
Right. It's like, dude.
It's maybe everyone else touched it and they're like, no. And they just walk away. And the people who didn't play Panzer Dragoon, they don't know. They don't know.
I guess. But yeah, that game is terrible.
That game's awful. Well, you should play as Panzer Dragoon Orta on the original Xbox. That game is fantastic.
It's true. That's a really good one.
It's a fucking great game. One of my favorite OC Remixes songs is a song based on that game. It's a really good song. Really good. I think SGX made it. I don't know. But yeah, fucking Panzer Dragoon Orta. So good. This game, fucking awful. Started development as a Connect game. Then they canceled that because they realized, oh, no one fucking wants this. And so it just has a bunch of loose mechanics, doesn't feel good. There's monetization in it of just like microtransactions of, hey, you want to buy tokens to buy dragons?
You want to level up faster, bro? Yeah. Oh, that was great in Forza.
Wait, let's...
we finish with Crimson Dragon before we go on to that masterpiece.
Let it not be the thread that dictates this, but the overriding motif. So yeah, Crimson Dragon... It's powered by Unreal Engine 3. Unreal Engine 3 clearly doesn't take well to the Xbox One's architecture by default. So it's just not a looker. Warframe on PS4 looks way better than this, which is a fucking travesty. Yeah, it's a fucking travesty. I'm going to say that one more time. Warframe on the PS4 looks better than Crimson Dragon, which is a $20 game on the Xbox One, in the spiritual successor to Panzer Dragoon. And Warframe looks better. That's such a goddamn travesty.
Warframe's made by guys who made Dark Sector. Just putting that in a little scope for people on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's free to play.
And it's free to fucking play. It really did upset me, because I don't talk about this much. I really don't talk about this at all in GigaBoots. This really just comes up in select instances outside of GigaBoots in my real life occurrences. I fucking love dragons, guys. Games with dragons, man. I miss those, and Lair ruined it for an entire generation.
But then Skyrim.
No, Bob. No.
You can ride the dragons now. It's good.
I'm not buying DLC to ride a fucking dragon. That's stupid. No, I want a game where I ride a fucking dragon and shoot lasers. Now that makes sense.
There we go.
Yep. So, yeah, Crimson Dragon. Really bad. Really upsetting. Left a bad taste in our mouth. So, Bob, Forza. We raced in Forza. I'm not sure that what we got was the full Forza experience. The game wasn't too clear.
That game is insane.
Yeah, we booted it up. We're in a race. We're like, okay, we're gonna do this race. It's like, do this race, and we're like, okay. That wasn't an option. It just shoved us in there and said race. We're like, okay. And it's like 8. So we race. We finish racing, and it's like, good job. You got 10th place. Here's money. And we're like, what? And then we gained a level.
Yeah, then we see that 10th place was enough to get us the bronze trophy.
Yeah, and 3rd place is good enough to get us gold. So that's already like weird pandering, like, good job, sweetie. You didn't win the championship, but here's a trophy anyways.
And then the best prompt on that screen, I thought.
Yeah?
The
press Y button?
Press Y button. Press Y button to level up.
Yes, press Y button to level up. And you push that button, and it's like, you want to spend money? But it doesn't even tell you then.
Right.
It's like, you need tokens. Do you want to get tokens? And it lets you select from 3 packs. And they still don't even tell you the price. You have to click on that, and then it takes you to the store, and then it tells you how much those cost. Which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
$60 game has monetization on every screen.
In $60 game, they're selling the season pass for $20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, no. I think it's a more expensive season pass. I don't remember.
I guess the pizza guy showed up because we're making it rain. By the way, pizza strippers. That's a thing around. You were saying?
They've literally taken to the idea of, you've already paid so much for the console, you clearly don't have any, like, mind to tell you no.
Right.
Like, yeah.
And I mean, I understand it having less content than Forza 4. I mean, it's hard to make.
Right. It's a
generational
generational
It's a fucking launch title, even.
Yeah.
Generational transition is hard enough, but a launch title? Holy shit. But to do that and to fucking bleed people dry on their money for the shit that some of which was in the last game. You know?
Yeah, I don't.
It's fucking crazy.
It's insane. I have no idea. Like, I really hope this doesn't succeed, because that will just give them the wrong message.
They sold 1 million Xbox Ones worldwide in a single day, so I feel the threat is already reinforced enough.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other aspects. Aside from monetization, which is a fucking travesty. The rearview mirror still work at 30 frames per second, and though I sound like a person who's just trying to find reasons to shit on this game, that actually is one of my pet peeves. I
do hate
games.
Seeing that too, honestly. That's so distracting to me.
Yeah, me too.
Because I always play in that, like, if the cockpit view is available, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And if I have something like that, it just bugs me.
Yeah, because it's something right in your face. It's a part of your field of view that just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like any of the other shit happening. What else? The side view, also same deal. So you've got 2 rear views.
And also the reflection on your windshield of your hand.
There was a nice touch where when you turn the steering wheel, you could see a faint reflection of your hand on the windshield, and it looked really good. But it ran at half frame rate, so then it looked really bad. So your hands are moving at 60.
I think the worst part about
moving at 30.
It's the last time we saw it, it was like that. And they literally said, this will be fixed by final product.
Right. Turn 10 Studios did say that they were going to fix all of that by the time the game came out, and they didn't. And, you can look at that as those shitbags lied to us when we caught them doing something, and then the game just came out anyways, and they promised something that it isn't. Or you can look at it as it was a launch title, and shit, no, none of that was going to be up and running on that piece of shit hardware in time for that. It's probably both.
Right, it's probably both.
They really should have been like...
We got the 1080p.
I mean, that's why...
We're the only ones.
That's why
we're king of the mountain.
The drive... We're King Big Dick. That's why I like the Drive Club solution. Where it was like, guys, we really want 60 frames per second. They're like, okay, we're talking about it. We're looking into that. I really mean that. We're going to figure that out. Not, yeah, it'll be 60. Buy the game.
You're right. Now, like, it isn't even out yet. Now it's been delayed, but good. That's for the best.
Definitely. Everyone who's like, oh, there's no point in next gen. I'm like, wow, you guys are impatient children. That is what you are. I would much rather have a good game than a bad game at launch.
Right. I mean, we have plenty of those.
Right, like the
like Crimson Dragon.
Like Crimson Dragon. Well, that's not my launch.
Okay, true.
So it's not my problem. It's Tim's $20 problem. Now, Tim's like, why did I invite them over? Now I bought the stupid piece of shit. God, friends suck.
At least he already had the money in his account. So it's not like
that's true.
It's been sitting there for at least 3 months.
At least, probably longer.
Oh, man.
What else did we play? We played Killer Instinct.
There's still the
Forza.
pixel crawl and
yeah.
That was. I think that's been well documented, though, right?
On the internet, kind of, but I'm not sure these people who listen to the GigaBoots podcast are well informed on Xbox. So, definitely, if we're to go by what aggro assumes these people watch us for and consume us for. Aggro says things about you. In any case, so Forza's 1080p, but there's like no anti-aliasing as far as I can tell, or at very least, if there is, it's a very, very low level anti-aliasing, and it's jagged all over it. So you'll see the seam in like a door on a car closed up against the frame of the car, so there's the contour there. But there's a pixel crawl with aliasing going up and down. It's so nasty. I've actually never seen a game running at 1080p look so fucking brutal. That shit is brutal. Like on my PC, you know, I when I run stuff at 1080p, I put some anti-aliasing on it. God.
Yeah.
It looked bad. It looked bad. I mean, not everything's about looks, but the rest of that game was bad, and you're at launch, and sometimes it's okay if Knack has a crazy story as long as it's a pretty thing to look at. And it is. And Forza isn't. It has very little content compared to its predecessor. And it's bleeding people dry on money. And it's just shoving it in your face.
I have to wonder,
it's not
like,
gorgeous. Like,
how many races do you think we had to complete before it would let us
do
know anything else?
It just kept shoving us from race to race.
Yeah, just like one race after another, and then we got a set of races to choose from, but there was still no like garage to go to.
Yeah, as we said at the beginning of this, or as I said at the beginning of this, we're not sure we got the full Forza experience. We're just here to tell you about our experience with Forza.
Right.
Which is valid.
Yeah, it's like
because
if I had not purchased that game and I had rented that, I probably would not have made it to the part of the game that's supposed to be good.
Right.
Like Tim said, he basically stopped after the intro, which was just like
fucking
pandering.
Overtly heinous pandering.
Yeah.
I mean, here are the guys from Top Gear. But in any case, yeah. I mean, there was that gorgeous PSP Gran Turismo, and I didn't even buy that because you were like, yeah, you can't customize the cars as much as you could before, or at all.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
it was
then
basically
fuck
a
that.
trading card system for cars. And I was like, what is
See,
this?
I wasn't even that bothered by that. I wasn't that bothered by every day the shop has different things. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I guess I can get into that because technically, 5 sort of did that too.
True, though it had a consistent shop. It also had the used shop, which was like that.
Which is where you got the good stuff.
The good stuff that had the old models. Yeah. They're still good.
Yeah, they're still good.
They're just looking for a home.
It's vintage. Yeah, so playing Forza, not being able to customize that stuff right out of the gate, not even seeing the options to customize that stuff right out of the gate with the different elements of the car.
Right.
No, that was not a good experience for me.
Oh.
The visuals were not that great.
We also messed with the head tracking on Forza.
Real quick, on the visuals, just not the pixel crawl, not the half frame rate. We're taking out those two issues.
Okay.
Do you think, being someone who's played Killzone Shadowfall and seen other PS4 games, do you think that game actually looks really pretty? Like, I want your legitimate opinion on it.
Not really.
Okay.
It looks... I think it looks marginally better than Gran Turismo 5.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm sitting too.
And then the crowds of people look worse.
I mean, I can't speak for Bob. I can't speak for Bob's inner intentions or agendas. Like, I really can't. No one can speak for another person's, maybe you are just full of shit.
I mean,
that's life.
I think that the glass shattering effect that it had when, well, not shattering, but cracked effect, that looked really cool.
Yeah,
there were certain little effects.
Glass, like when you crack a windshield because it's resilient, the crack goes up it and it branches. But instead of being a line or a texture applied to it, it's actually really a shader. So it will reflect the environment. It was really cool. That one thing was really neat. And everything else looked really subpar.
Yeah, and that audience was awful.
Yeah, they were 2D cutouts.
They were just one big 2D cutout, and they just kept it kind of far away from you. It was like, I can notice that without even slowing down.
Yeah.
I mean, I made me stop because I was like, okay, that's what's going on over there.
But yeah, everyone who was praising Forza 5 at E3 and stuff, you people have really disappointed me. Like, that game is not that gorgeous. I heard about people at E3 talking about how Gran Turismo 6 looked way better than Forza 5, and that showed that the PS4 was more powerful because they thought Gran Turismo 6 was on the PS4.
Right.
It looked better than Forza 5 to them. And I thought, wow, what a silly thing to think. And now having played Forza 5, I understand. I mean, it really isn't that insane level that I feel next gen should be.
I've kind of felt that way just from seeing the trailers and stuff for Forza, even like just seeing that in gameplay video. Like I know I thought there would be another level of seeing in person will be totally different. It'll be running 60 frames per second. It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
But I really didn't feel that when I was watching that.
Yeah.
Playing that.
I mean, even Knack was where you could watch a video of an environment. Like, I watched a video of an environment. I'm like, man, this is running kind of bad. This doesn't even look that good. But you get the game, and you're like, okay, this is running better than it did in that video. But this environment is fucking gorgeous because there's, like, this subsurface scattering on these rocks and things that it looks beautiful. And just, like, the YouTube video, you're just like, eh. But then you play the game and you're like, wow, this is really pretty. What a pretty game. And I thought it was going to be that same layer for Forza because the finer details of how beautiful a game is doesn't really work in encoded videos.
Right. And they talked about in Forza, they were saying, we did it like each layer of paint goes on. And it's like, okay, well, I'm sure the cars look really nice when you get the camera right next to them. But then the environment doesn't look nice.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking at.
That's the majority of the field view. I mean, sure, you see the other cars as you pass them, but 80% of your view is not a car.
Right.
And they said they laser scanned each, and I don't doubt that they did that in that it's placed accurately. The problem is it doesn't legitimately look like next gen better. It doesn't look legitimately better than what Gran Turismo 6 is going to give you. I mean, sure, there's a resolution boost over what Gran Turismo 6 is going to give you, and that's fine, that's cool, but the tessellation tech in Gran Turismo 6 is really fucking impressive. God help the Forza team once an actual Gran Turismo comes to next gen. God help them.
Yeah, because I mean, when Gran Turismo hits the next gen, they actually hit it.
Yeah.
Like, when it's actually a numbered title, it looks ridiculous.
And I mean, they are way more prepped to go into this next gen than they were this last gen.
Nobody was prepped for last gen.
No one.
Especially not in Japan.
No one in Japan was at all.
They went and broke their legs before next gen started last time.
They're like, Americans made this pretty game. What did we make, turds? No! One cuts out a window in their chest. That was a pretty good sound effect for that.
I think so, yeah.
Organs and stuff. But yeah, a lot of what I get out of those games is the beauty. And it just...
I guess it does have that mode where you can just go look at the car. We didn't really get the message.
Which is neat, but that's... I don't know. Like the game, like Gran Turismo 5, when you go and do things in the menu and stuff in Gran Turismo 5, it very well presents you with like, welcome to this sleek place to stick around. Here's some cool stuff. Oh, look at how pretty this car is. You want to buy it? Okay, maybe not. How about this pretty car? Like, there's a lot of, like, beauty in that. There's a lot of beauty in the aesthetic, and there's more class in Gran Turismo 5 than there is in Forza 5.
Forza 5.
By a huge margin.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that weird computer voice is just like, oh, you're so awesome. And
actually, that was weird. There is basically a computer voice that's like, oh, you're so awesome. Big, huge American penis. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what's going on here?
I seriously was confused at first. It was weird.
Yeah.
That was just really weird for a video game. Because, I mean, as we were just talking about, a lot of video games boil down to, oh, you're so cool, aren't you? You blew that up. Yeah, we defeated the zombies by blowing up this gas station. We're so cool. for a game to literally be like, oh, you're so cool. Oh, big American penis. I was just like, what's going on?
From what Tim tells us, it starts at like
I got 10th place.
Yeah, you didn't even do good.
I survived.
Yeah. I need to talk to Forza fans about it and see what they think. Because I know one. And yeah.
He wasn't too
no, I haven't been able to talk to him since, or he hasn't had a chance to play it since last time I talked to him.
Okay. Well, I'm curious about his opinion too.
We also tried the head tracking on Forza 5.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare.
That was weird. See, because the head tracking, depending on how you place your head, looks left and looks right. But the problem is they realize you don't want to turn your head to do that. So you lean left to turn your head left in the game, and you lean right to turn your head right in the game.
And I was having these other two guys next to me just hijacking it, even though it's supposed to be able to tell that I'm holding the controller.
Right,
and only
the IR sensors on the controller with the Kinect.
Right.
And even Kinect Sports Rivals properly figured that out.
Yeah.
But Forza didn't. So I was turning Bob's head while he was driving, and it was really funny.
But I was really hoping we would get a nice enough fidelity with Kinect, so I could just do like a subtle turn to the left or right,
or even just move the placement of your head, and it would move the placement in game.
Because leaning my head to the left and right is the most unnatural thing.
Yeah.
And like I can't do that and actually properly use any of the mirrors. That was just weird. This is one of those features like, why is this even here? Just to say you have Kinect functionality on the box?
Yep. Isn't it impressive? I'm so impressed. You know, nothing was as neat on that console as Playroom.
I didn't get the Mesh Pro Playroom, so I can't really say much.
Oh, okay. Playroom was fun, charming, and neat, all in one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't really have anything on the Xbox. It was just like, yeah, go mess around with Kinect and see how cool all these things are. I think one of the, like, we brought up a menu in Crimson Dragon that showed like wireframes of us.
Yeah, it was a little inlay, like a picture-in-picture, and it showed a black box, and then it just had a skeleton in it. And depending on who was holding the controller, it would pop up the different skeletons. And obviously, it's like a wireframe,
right,
like, for arms and legs. So it's not detailed; it's just bright green wireframe. But it was neat.
Yeah, that was the neatest thing. I'm like, why didn't they just?
I think there's a menu somewhere in there if you go to Calibrate Kinect that has cool stuff.
All right.
But that's not.
Yeah, that's not
Playroom.
That's not even a game.
I guess since they have to earn your purchase of Playroom, they do cool things to make you feel cool for getting the camera. Since you have to buy Kinect to buy an Xbox One, fuck you.
We got you already.
Yep,
yeah,
that's basically it. I don't know why they thought this was a winning proposition. Like, the Kinect on the 360, that makes sense. That was a winning proposition. They got to sell that camera for a really nice margin to a bunch of people, and then sell software that was really cheap to make to a lot of people. On the Xbox One, they don't get to sell them the camera at a high margin. They haven't been making cheap games on it that are fun to play that people are buying out of sheer novelty because they've already seen it.
Right? I mean,
like, Kinect already happened. So yeah, what a losing proposition.
And it's not like this is just such a grade better that you're going to be like, oh man, this is totally
the only
different.
thing I've heard from anyone is that the voice recognition is much better, which says a lot because it's still unreliable crap.
Yeah, I have no idea like what they're talking about was 90% accuracy. That is the farthest thing from what we experienced.
Yeah, we experienced somewhere around 30.
Yeah, I would be generous and say 40 or 50.
Right.
Because
I guess that's the thing. We were being super nice. We were distinguishing our words. We were speaking clearly, slowly, separating the words, not being like, Xbox, go to blah. But that didn't really help. Nothing helped. It just worked or it didn't, and most times it didn't.
Yeah, I don't... I don't know.
How are you people this okay with having... This is the thing that kills me. All the reviewers who played both and say the Xbox One offers a better experience. Here's one of the largest things to me. I don't know about you, but to me. Their servers are slower than PlayStation's? What?
Yeah, I guess we didn't mention that. That's insane.
They're slower servers, and you don't get to download more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, which
That's fucking crazy.
At launch, I mean, you're downloading at least more than one thing. Or at least you're... Yeah. At any point where you're like, oh, I need to download the patch in the game.
I mean, I love that we had launch day patch on the Xbox One. You didn't get to download the file separately on a USB stick, and it was much larger, and obviously their servers are much slower, and no reviewer came out and said, this is an obviously worse experience.
I think that they actually released it downloadably like the day before, because I found an article that said that you could download it, and they had some steps to how you put that on your Xbox One.
Weird.
Right.
That was not enough heads up.
No, it wasn't. It was literally like, hey guys, just in case. Because things are not going to go well.
Yeah.
I don't.
But yeah, the downloading things one at a time and then downloading them way slower.
We literally couldn't, like, we were trying to just install Dead Rising 3, and we couldn't go on at the same time we were downloading Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
They had to be separate actions.
Yeah.
That was... I thought we were past that, because PlayStation can do that.
Right.
PlayStation does that all day.
Every time you look at the operating system and the hardware in the PS4, like, this is how I felt. I thought, this may probably work a little bit smoother on the Xbox One, but I'm okay with that because I have the better gaming machine. Like, it plays games better, and that's what's important to me. Then I tried the Xbox One, and I was like, what the fuck? It's doing all of this worse. My games are less accessible. The settings menus are a bit more buried. The voice recognition is the same.
Yeah, I don't know how they aren't being called out on this. It's like
we live in a country of people like Xbox, and no one sees the tide coming, so they're just gonna keep going Xbox until all the actual consumers eventually go, wait, why would I pay $100 more for this worse thing?
Yeah, it's messed up that they're not even covering the fact that, okay, this just isn't working as well. This isn't ready. This is not done yet. Why is this released?
I hope by the time this week's podcast come out, or maybe next week's podcasts come out from the various places, that a lot of people are talking about that. Because last week's podcast were people who were just then able to talk about Xbox One, and they were saying it was like the voice recognition is very usable. It's a good experience, blah, blah, blah. And I'm hoping somewhere in the next week or two, a lot of people are going to realize, wait, I can download multiple things at a time on PlayStation 4. Wait, it downloads faster on PlayStation 4.
Wait, I can switch between apps on PlayStation 4 as well.
Which is something I don't know how reviewers aren't getting that.
Yeah.
It does tell you, like, really shortly, like, hey, double tap the PlayStation button to go back to the home screen. Double tap to come back.
Yeah.
If you're somewhere in the settings menu, you can actually, like, if you're just messing with trophies or whatever, you can press the PlayStation button once to go back to the home screen instead of double tapping to go back to the game. Like, it has so many cascading layers of, like, we have offered you through this one button really easy ways to access all this stuff. And reviewers just, this mono headset looks like shit. I'm not going to use it. When it sounds absolutely fine.
Yep.
It works.
It's just amazing how much better that OS on the PlayStation is. It's just, you can snap between things so fast. Not to use their term of snapping. You're not actually
right. The OS runs at 60 frames per second, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I can easily get between my games. I can easily get out to the trophies menu, the achievements menu. Oh man.
Yeah, the achievements menu is set up like a fucking circus nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
the one thing I think the Xbox One did have as a significant, cool, better feature, I'm not saying it's major.
Okay.
When you got an achievement, it's like, you got this achievement. Press and hold the Xbox guide button. We'll tell you what it did. And it worked. That other time it didn't work. But that one time it did work.
Those 2 times it didn't work, but one time it did work, and that was cool.
That was cool. Xbox One should have been called Xbox 30% because it works 30% of the time. You know, now that I'm thinking about this, yeah, the Xbox One is only slightly over 2 times as powerful, or actually maybe slightly over 3 times as powerful as last-gen consoles. That's really not a good leap. Because it's a teraflop. It's a little over a teraflop.
Okay, because
1 point...
Is that stuff Sony is saying about PS4 is 10 times more powerful?
So they said 7.
7?
And it is basically.
Okay.
If not really so. I should crunch these numbers more before I come out with the factors on top of my head, because it's all based off of memory of charts and numbers I've read a long time ago. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that dashboard shouldn't be running like that.
No.
I feel like...
I don't understand why no reviewer said that.
Yeah.
Much like Remote Play. Remote Play works at 30 frames per second. You fuckers should notice this.
What do we pay you for?
What do we pay you for? You're fired! You don't work at IGN anymore. I just fired you.
What was I saying?
I don't know. I just fired a man. It's a little hard to think when I do that.
One thing I found really annoying is sometimes we were playing a game, we'd go up to the main menu, then we'd go into a side menu. Then we'd come back to the main Xbox menu, and instead of showing on the big, like, there's a huge section of the screen that's dedicated to showing what you were last doing. I feel like that should have been the game. Because that was the main thing was set up.
Yeah, because we jumped into that other menu, and then we come back, and it's like, you were in this other menu. And I'm like, I was in the game.
Yeah,
yeah.
Why would I even care about having a giant button to get back to that settings menu?
Because.
Or to get back to the store.
You should have backed all the way out with the B button.
Apparently. That was just weird.
So yeah, the Xbox One. People who bought that at launch are probably like, wow, this next gen kind of sucks. Because the PS4 was a great experience, like, personally.
Yeah.
I think.
There was lots of just games to go download.
You had 3 fucking free games, right? You had Resogun, you had Contrast. We're getting a 3rd sometime really soon. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Hell, we have like 2 more, if I remember correctly, like in the next couple months.
If you count the free-to-play games, we also had...
Yeah, we had 3 of those, didn't we? We had Warframe,
Blacklight, and DC Universe.
Yeah, so we had 3 of those. 2 just fucking free games with the console. And, yeah,
Yeah, it feels like you're really getting a monk deal on this Xbox One, because you don't get any games.
Yeah, you don't get any games,
and
it's $100 more, and they really don't make you feel good for the fact you own a Kinect.
Yeah,
which I think is a huge justification they need to make. I feel like they should have been like, out front and center, Kinect's gonna be awesome because of this, and this thing comes with your console. Like, it's amazing that Sony, of all people, gets that more. Like, Welcome Park was there to be like, this is why the Vita's awesome. You can do these crazy types of gameplay with it, like touch the back, touch the front, do all these other things, camera stuff, slider puzzles. I'm like, cool, Sony, you clearly get that you need something out there to be like, welcome to your new console. Here's all the cool stuff. Meanwhile, the Xbox One's just like, we don't have any Kinect games.
Yeah, I don't...
You should just stick around.
Do you think that Wii would have taken off at all if it didn't launch with Wii Sports?
With Wii Sports? Fuck no.
Yeah, no. That would have just been dead on
arrival. It would have been the Wii U.
It basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it'd be like, oh, this is a new thing that I can turn it sideways and play Mario.
Play Altered Beast. I read a post for somebody who was like, the Genesis was the best console ever made. We had arcade ports in a way that hadn't been facsimilated since. And I'm like, did that man just compliment the Altered Beast port? I played that port, and then I played Altered Beast. It's kind of like when I played Killer Instinct all through my childhood, and then I saw the arcade.
You know, the worst part is, I think I played the arcade of Altered Beast first.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Voice clips were way better. The graphics were way more fluid.
Then I got it home, and I was like, what is this? This isn't... I guess this is still cool, but
yeah, because the
man,
arcade.
maybe I don't remember the other thing so well. Maybe that thing wasn't that great.
The arcade's all like, dun, 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 and then you get it home and you get the Genesis one and it's like, and you're like, oh no, that's close.
Save my life from Princess. Wait, no.
Go protect my life from Ninja.
Go protect my life from Ninja.
Yep. Xbox One, why couldn't you have been better? I wish it was the future box that I thought it was. I thought the voice recognition worked. I thought the hardware features and OS features were better. I thought it wouldn't have a broken-ass scaler in it.
I read most of like 2 large reviews, and I skimmed some others, and none of them, like all of them mentioned it being future technology, and none of them mentioned anything below 80% working on the Kinect.
Yeah.
In voice recognition, that is.
So we're just going to do a review, the Xbox One, completely skip over the PS4 review and just do a detailed video of our experience with it. Like, just keep going over to Tim's house.
I don't know if Tim would appreciate that.
He probably would be okay with it. Because he's obviously disappointed.
Yeah, it was a little telling when he was like, I played like an hour of this, and then I went back to Assassin's Creed on my PlayStation 4.
Yeah. I feel really bad. I mean, Tim has the means to get both.
Yeah.
Tim has the means to buy games for both and get to dabble and figure out what he likes and, be like, okay, this burned me and it's just not a good experience. That's something I'll have to learn from. Again, stares at Oya. Fucking... God. There are so many people out there who probably have an Xbox One, who were used to the 360 being better, in their opinion, of course.
You're right.
And in many ways that are objective.
Right, there's...
This gen. And maybe they know a guy with a PS4. Maybe they're going to go a year or 2 years, this console war, this generation, and just not want to believe. And then they'll realize at some point, like, oh, man. That's just a much better system. Like, that PS4 is a better experience. That controller's really nice. The games just all look and run better. I'm stuck with this thing. I don't have the means to buy a $400 box. And those are the type of people you'll probably see at a GameStop who are like, I'm trading in. I mean, that happened this gen with the 360s that kept red ringing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trading in my console and all these fucking games because I'm sick of this thing busting up my games and breaking every time an important game comes out. I'm not trying to make a fucking sob story out of this, but yeah, stuff like that, every time I hear stuff like that, it's just sad. That's really sad to hear about somebody who has to trade in their console because the thing broke 7 fucking times. 4 fucking times. And it's just sad to think about. I paid $100 more for this console, and it's some overhyped crap compared to the competitor.
Yeah.
Fuck everyone buying into this hype chain.
Yeah. We didn't get to try the TV features, honestly, but I don't.
But honestly, I don't think either of us would give a single fuck.
Right. And I found out the other day that apparently it doesn't even properly integrate with the DVR. So it's like, what is the point?
Because everything I watch on TV is watched on DVR, and I only watch like 2 shows.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point where there are people who watch like live television has to be getting less and less. Because even my parents, of all people, they only watch DVR. They don't even have time to sit down at the proper hours for it to run what they want.
And it's the thing that yet another one of the many things that game journalists have said throughout this year that just prove how fucking out of touch they are. They keep going, well, they're going after that live television crew. The people who really like TV still are really tuned into that. They're going after them. That's a dying market sector. This is another Microsoft move to desperately try to grab a market they don't understand. Stop thinking that this is okay. Stop giving them space and wiggle room to hypothesize that you're out of touch. Go on your fucking instincts, you goddamn idiot.
Yeah, I think there were even numbers recently released. It's like, cable companies in general are seeing dropping margins because people
they're
are cutting their
dropping
cable
subscriptions. That's why prices keep going up.
Yep.
Because they're terrified of losing money.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. So overall, I'm going to say hands down the Xbox One is a worse experience than the PS4. I would heartily recommend anyone who enjoys gaming a PS4. There will be good games coming out on it. There's absolutely no possibility that we're going to be sitting in a situation where it's like, there are no games on the PS4. The thing's a fucking PC. Porting anything from PC is really goddamn easy. And now since next gen's the focus of developers going forward, obviously not for the next year, but going forward, most games are going to be designed around PC architecture, including the Xbox One and the PS4, at very least the PS4. Yeah, they're going to be games. This is a really good experience. I heartily recommend it. It's a great controller. It's probably the best one I've ever used. And there's nothing about the operating system that outright is disappointing or infuriating on a regular basis. Whereas that voice recognition and how the operating system isn't set up to be convenient.
Yeah,
because
it's designed around the voice recognition. So it's like either you sit there at menus trying to use the voice recognition, trying to do it faster, or you just hit the buttons and take a longer time.
Yeah, you
than
just
you'd
scroll. And then you get to that thing and you click it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear about people comparing the Xbox One and the PS4, yes, the camera doesn't come into the box of the PS4, but you can still get the camera and it end up cheaper than an Xbox One, and you still have facial sign-in, which works. And maybe that's a messaging problem on Sony's part that they didn't stress that to these reviewers and be like, hey, did you know you could blah? But a lot of them seem to think that the camera does nothing and that there are no voice features and all this other stuff and that the headset's crap. And all of these things are just patently incorrect.
Well, God forbid they actually,
research
it, try and use the system that they're given.
I mean, shit.
Anything like that.
I'm sitting here like 2 weeks out from when the PS4 launched, and I'm sort of like, there are still things I want to do really in-depth research on before I could do a review. And sadly, that's why we're going to stay unpopular. That's why we're going to be the underground site and YouTube channel to keep watch on, because we aren't just shotgunning bullshit reviews out there to grab clicks. And the sad thing is we'd probably be regarded better if we were doing that. It would probably be like, oh yeah, those guys are awesome. Because they make videos which fill the pit that is my life. Yeah. We should have done 3 reviews on the week the PS4 came out.
Yeah.
Initial impressions, the review, and then the full in-depth
the super review.
Yeah. Super review.
We could just release the reviews every other week of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be Capcom. Yeah. It'll be great.
Yeah, we'll just put Super, and then Ultra, and then Turbo, and
then Hyper Combo Finish.
And then Remix. Yep. So, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about the Xbox One?
We didn't talk about Dead Rising at all. I mean, that was just a situation of... It's
all right.
Yeah, it seems fine.
It seems fine. I'm not saying it's as good as 2. I'm not saying it fits with the rest of the franchise. Judging it as a game on its own merit, not as a hardcore Dead Rising fan, I'll say it's all right. This plot was very self-serious.
Yeah, that was the most off-putting part of it.
It really was.
It was like, where is the cheeky, like, this is obviously B-rated movie stuff. Oh, no, this is just going to be a bad zombie movie stuff? Okay, let's go.
Okay, sure.
That's great.
Yeah. And it stuck with that for a while, but once it shut up long enough for us to play, it was okay-ish.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of fun.
Felt like Dead Rising, but
Yeah. It doesn't scream at me as much to buy it as 2 did.
Yeah, I know. Something like the idea of moving to a larger world is cool on paper, but in actual, like, doing it,
it just makes it less unique experience because you aren't at a certain aspect of you're not at a certain part of the mall. You're just on a street.
Right. I'm like, there's so many games that are on streets. Anyway, It's not like that's unique. Whereas Dead Rising this is a fully constructed mall.
Yeah.
Like, every shop is here. You can go inside everything.
There was also a lot of popping.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, entire glass panes, like huge glass panes next to us, wouldn't load in for the longest time while we were chilling next to them. Had this nasty glossed over texture that didn't look right at all. And then right before you guys drove away, it finally popped in, and I was like, guys, they drove away.
And then you were freaking out with your ambient occlusion, which it is vicious.
The ambient occlusion is vicious. It doesn't look right at all.
I worry that this is what Capcom games are going to look like, but after seeing Deep Down, though, I'm a little bit more confident they won't look like this.
Yeah. Oh, man. Maybe this is a bit fanboyish. Maybe this is a bit, I don't know, whatever. But looking at Deep Down as a game that's coming on the PS4, that excites me. There isn't a game like that on Xbox One. Like, there's Titanfall for most people, but I'm me, and for me, Titanfall just looks okay. I honestly don't believe if Titanfall was on my console that I would buy it, because I have Destiny. And this isn't that case of that kid who's like, I don't need Sonic, I am Mario. No, this is a case of Destiny is way more my thing. My girlfriend's super interested in that, which that doesn't affect my decision at all here, guys. I know you don't know the dynamic between me and Tosh, but her excitement over Destiny literally has zero effect on me. But yeah, no, like that's that thing we kept prophesying, or I kept prophesying last gen, like, imagine a world where Borderlands gameplay is done by people who know how to make a shooter, and it's polished and maybe good. And people are like, no, that'll never happen. Borderlands is the best. And then they announced Destiny, and I'm like, from atop my like crazy scientist mountain. Welcome to my secret lair on Crazy Scientist Mountain.
I can see why he changed the name before he released it.
Yeah, it was a little bit catchier.
Yeah,
I like the original version though. The first album's way better than the first album. The comic book's way better than the movie. Yeah. So, lessons to learn from this episode of the GigaBoots podcast. Here is our review before the test on Monday. S-Video separates the Chroma and Lua into two different wires, basically, that send the signal over. The 4 pins on the S-Video are Chroma and Luma for the 2. And then the other 2 are grounds. They are the grounds for those proper signals. Okay, so there's one. The Xbox One is overhyped bullshit. And the home OS runs at 30 frames per second, which just looks fucking nasty. In all those videos they put out, clearly we're running at 60.
Even the ones on Toonami.
And what else? The PS4 is good. Still. Really excellent. I love that controller. God, I love that controller. I'm a total fucking, like, I love the small shit like that. Like the interface device. Oh, yeah. That excites me all day.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the Xbox One controller is just going to fall into the category, it's not a controller.
Yeah, it is just another controller.
Yeah, it's just another one. It's not like, the PlayStation 4 is literally like, wow, this is just better. Gets better and better the longer I use it.
Uh-huh.
That's how I feel about that one. It's like, okay, there hasn't been a single game I tried on this that just isn't like perfect for.
Right. And we tried it because we even used it on PC on a lot of stuff. Like,
right.
We played Skullgirls. And Resogun.
It's a good controller for Skullgirls.
It's a great controller for Skullgirls.
I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people use their arcade sticks, but I know that we stick to the...
That would actually make for a fun video. Like, hey, guy who likes arcade sticks, check this out. What the fuck? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Not an arcade stick. Check it out. It's a PS4 controller. And the guy's like, this is amazing. And then he holds out his arms, and we do a sparkle slide-down transition on his shirt, and it turns into a PlayStation shirt. And he's like, wow!
So what I'm really saying is I can't wait for Guilty Gear. I can't.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Are we importing that?
Maybe.
I'll split it.
Okay,
cool. Thanks for watching the GigaBoots podcast with the video and the stuff. Awesome. Are we importing that?